DP.
Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the four Danettes are not here. So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Fox Sports Radio's odd couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
What's happening? Good morning. Good morning, America. It is the Dan Patrick Show. And we are the odd couple. Rob Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Kelvin Washington.
Okay.
And the odd couple crew. You hear us every night, 7 to 10 Eastern, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Rob G is our producer. Alex is our engineer.
Alex, you're a hidden talent.
No doubt. Our social media guru is Elijah. There you go. So we are in full effect on this funky Flashback Friday, as we'd like to say it. Good morning, Kelvin Washington. You're used to getting up in the morning.
Yeah, and I almost had to put somebody in an early headlock. How dare I have to beat up Rob G at whatever o'clock in the morning it is? I go in there to say what up, dap everybody up, Rob. Hey, you're supposed to be all spry because you're the one up early. I said, hey, I came in, I'm speaking. What more do you want from me, Alex?
Kelvin, you're not even lying. He walks in. I'm half asleep because I slept here. It's been 2 hours since I last opened my eyes. He walks in. Yeah, I knew you guys were going to eat all that pizza. Right out the gate.
Right.
See, yeah, Rob, I think he's taking out his frustration on us. That's what it is.
Rob Parker, you wouldn't believe this, too. I was trying to be nice. I was like, here's some creamer, here's some oat milk, whatever you need for your coffee. Oh, it's a lot for a guy who doesn't drink coffee.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with
What's wrong with Rob G?
Ask him.
Rob G, you got young kids. You're up early every morning. What's the issue?
I don't know. He ain't saying that. See, he's not even speaking to you. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I went in there, dapped everybody up to say hello. And he was thinking, you're supposed to be the one that's supposed to be all excited today. I was like, why are you being Rob G?
When you sent a text 30 minutes ago, I'm right there. And then you show up 30 minutes later, I'm like, okay. So you just got up then. I got you.
No, I've been up. I promise you that. But I'm used to getting up like an hour and a half earlier now. You know that. I think the Rob G stands for grumpy today, Rob. That's what it is. That's what it is. Rob
G. This is going to be a good Friday for you.
It
Come
is.
on, let's do it. All right, we should also tell you to check us out on our YouTube channel. You can watch us live right now. Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. After you're done, you can tap the thumbs up icon. Comment away. Let us know if you agree with me or Kelvin. And go check out our YouTube channel and watch us live now.
Do it!
Just search Odd Couple FSR and subscribe. Man, we got a lot to get to today on the Dan Patrick Show. And I thought we were banned from the Dan Patrick Show, but I guess we're not.
Stop putting me in this. I wasn't here yet.
He didn't hate you. It was me, right?
Yes.
Rob G, I think Rob G knows it was me. But
listen, and after about 3 hours, we'll see if he still may hate you. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Right. Dan Patrick's on vacation. He'll call in and say to Scott, our boss, Scott Shapiro, Scott, I thought I told you. No, Rob
more.
Parker.
No more.
No, okay. All right, hey, Rob G, there was a, of course, preseason football game, and we saw Fernando Mendoza.
That's right. Number 1 overall pick. Everybody's favorite quarterback. The man who is so straight with the Lord. He won't even go to the Vegas Strip. I know you like that part, Dub.
I did.
He's
like
like,
that.
no, there's too much sin down there. I'm going to stay over here.
Oh, wait a
at
minute.
Allegiant
So
Stadium.
him, Chris Broussard, Kelvin Washington, man, we need to get out of here, Rob G.
It's not going to go good for us.
I mean, I'll go to Vegas a little bit. You know, I'll hang out with you.
Oh, you're a sinner then.
No, wait.
Right?
There goes Rob. We can't start the show already with the 0-100.
Yes.
Can it be a little bit? Wow, hold on. Let me hit the hydraulics on this chair real quick. I look a little. There we go.
Yeah, can you get there? There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, Fernando Mendoza had his primetime debut, his second preseason game. He went 8 for 15, 86 yards, an ugly pick six and a sack in one half of work against the Houston Texans. So we'll call it mixed reviews for the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah. I don't know. I know people. Are people in Las Vegas really excited, Kelvin? Because I'm not.
Well, ask Rob G. That's his team.
I know. Tom Brady, that was the guy they chose and whatnot, and I get it. He won a national championship. He played great, right, last year with Indiana. But I'm not convinced that he's going to be that guy. And people talk about all the time, just because you're the first overall pick, we've seen plenty of guys wash out and not make it and be a bust. I was always skeptical of the NFL with the idea of the Raiders and Mendoza not having any national games. Like Kelvin, to me, that's just since when?
Right.
You don't want to see the number one overall pick?
That's a good point.
I'm serious. And people are like, oh, well, they don't think he's going to start, and so they're not putting any games on, and they can flex in. I'm sorry. The idea that he's the first overall pick, and they're not sure. I don't even know. Are they going to start him, or are they going to make him sit and wait? I mean, Rob G, you're the Raiders guy. What are they saying? Because it sounds like it's mixed.
Oh, no, big seat. He's going to have a big seat.
Oh, they're making it seem like there's a competition, but, Kirk Cousins didn't even dress yesterday. So that kind of tells you all you need to know.
I call him Kirk, your cousin, not mine. He is definitely going to be starting. Number one, when you look at this Raiders team, I mean, Rob G, that's your squad. They're so young, Rob. There's one thing to just be bad, and we know in the NFL sometimes bad isn't horrible, right? Sometimes it's just a few plays didn't go your way, and now you're 7-10, or you're 8-something or 6-11 when you really weren't that bad, and the next year you turn around, at least you're a better squad. Then there's sometimes you were just putrid and you got a lot to figure out. And the Raiders are closer to the latter. I mean, they have a lot to figure out. They're very young. They're trying to get some nice pieces. They're hoping that Gentry works out at the running back. They still got Bauer. They got some pieces on offense. They hope that Mendoza eventually will get there. But, Rob, this team, they ain't there yet. Tom Brady ain't walking through that door as the quarterback. Now, he might walk through as a minority owner, but he's got a lot of work to do. And if you're able to watch some of the plays, he made some nice throws, which is why, obviously, that's why he was the number one pick. He looked comfortable at some times, got the ball out, got the offense moving. And that throw across the middle, the interception was terrible. And you're going to learn that number one thing you hear all the time, the speed is much faster in the pros. That little cross body, across the middle of the field pass you normally can do in college, you ain't doing that in the pros. And so he's going to learn that for sure. But I definitely expect a slow roll. If you're Raiders and you say and you wholly believe this is your guy, then there's no rush. You're hoping to have him for a greater decade and a half. And so they're not going to roll him out there.
I'm in a different school. If you can play and make an impact, you should play. The only way you really learn to play in the National Football League is going out there. All the people, the great players, no one's putting them on a leash. No one's telling them we're going to pump the brakes on you. You just go out there and you learn. Peyton Manning was on a bad Indianapolis team. He threw 1 million interceptions, right? Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning year one. Go back and look. He almost threw 30 interceptions.
He did.
His rookie year. So you can't explain or tell me that the best way is to sit. Now we got the Aaron Rodgers example, but there's a reason Aaron Rodgers sat. You had a future Hall of Famer there, still able to play. That's the only reason Aaron Rodgers didn't play. Not that he couldn't play. Everybody said in practice, this guy's got it. But he had to sit up 3 years behind Brett Favre, a Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins is no Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins was lousy in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins gets you nothing. Kirk Cousins gives you wasted snaps. It's wasted snaps.
But
I would rather this kid play, take his lumps, and if they're bad, get another top pick. I don't want to be in the middle of the pack because I have a middling end of his career quarterback who's just going to keep us afloat and win enough games so that we don't get the number one pick or top pick again. That's what I'm saying. I want all or nothing.
Well, we know that's you, Rob. We know that you want all or nothing. We know, but I think the bigger indictment it really is the whole roster. Like, I think if they were solid, and again, they just were not as bad as the record showed, then I think they'd roll them out there. But I think the issue is they're so young.
They're Colts team, though. I'm just asking you.
Yeah,
seriously.
I'm not going to go back.
I can give you other examples.
I know. Did he have Marshall Faulk back then? Did Peyton? Right off the bat? Yeah, I mean, he had some pieces out there where you can say, all right, we got something rolling.
They were bad.
They were bad, without no doubt. But also, too, Mendoza ain't Peyton. Let's be clear. Like, he can end up having a fine career.
He's the first overall pick.
And that happens. Cam Ward was the first overall pick. He ain't going to be Peyton either. I mean, you know when you know that somebody – Peyton was different. Peyton was generational from the day he stepped into Tennessee. We knew from the jump this what he was. Mendoza came out the blue.
Interceptions.
No, I'm talking about
game,
in college. We've known what Peyton was going to be from high school to college to when he got to the pros.
I'm saying I didn't know his first year.
Mendoza –
I wasn't sure.
Right. He had a rough first year. Mendoza is slow rolling into this thing, Rob. He came out the blue. You never even heard of him. You heard of the Mendoza line, not Fernando Mendoza. And then all of a sudden he comes in and has an incredible what was that, his 12th year in college, Rob
So
G?
let's take advantage of it. The players in the NFL are around the same age of the players in Indiana last year.
Hey, you ain't lying. And with all this going back and forth, guys getting contracts and can go back. I don't know how old. Like, you're going to have 28-year-olds rookies. And
but he played with 28-year-olds at Indiana or whatever it was. Their average age was like 25 in college.
We put a little extra sauce on it, but it was old. It was old, but
that's Rob G. It was like 25.
It was like 31. What are you talking about?
30, yeah. 25, 31, pick one. But
you get my point.
I do. No, I do. I just think, but again, just to me, I think they're going to say, Kirk Cousins, you take those lumps if there are lumps to be had that you're talking about. You go out there. You set the tone. You show this young guy something. We can get these younger players on this roster, get them developed slowly. I think he's going to start probably halfway through the season, maybe a little early, maybe week 6, 7-ish, but I think they just want to get him more acclimated, make, some of those.
How does he get more acclimated not playing? Seriously. Like, I hear
because if you get smoked, there's a dude named David Carr, not even Derek Carr, who still has PTSD from getting smoked out there. Cam Ward is nowhere near as bad as he looked last year, but he was getting smoked. Sometimes when you know your team is horrific, Rob, and then sometimes your team is, we're better than we look. And if it's horrific, I think they don't want him out there. So if they're horrific
this year and next year, he still shouldn't play, right? How long are you going to wait?
Well, no,
so you're saying
I'm
they're horrific
fired
now, but week 6 they're going to be good. Is that explain how they're going to be good?
The guys will have played. You would have been able to find out who's who if you need to switch. If this started,
so say you find out they're no good, they still aren't good. So you delay his start. Him starting his quarterback.
People have historically not started off the bat, Rob. We have examples of both. We got guys who got thrown in the fire. We got guys who have had to wait a year or two like that, especially. Historically, it was more common for you to come in and wait, not come in and try to be a savior of a horrific team. So, I mean, it's not going to be crazy if they make him wait a year. That's not going to be like all of a sudden some we've never seen this before.
This just sounds to me like they're convinced Mendoza's going to be a bust. I'm going to be on the record. That's where I'm at, that he's going to be a bust ultimately, and they don't have the confidence that this guy who took Indiana to a national championship and played some of the best college football quarterbacking that we had seen, right? And did the unthinkable, should be that guy. It's almost like people were telling Joe Burrow, don't go to Cincinnati. What a bad franchise. You have no shot to win. They were trying to tell him he should pull an Eli Manning and his camp should say I'm not going there. Don't draft me. I'm not going to Cincinnati. They had lost their last 7 playoff games coming into the time that Joe Burrow showed up in Cincinnati. And guess what? He gets hurt his first year, right? Because they're not that good. They don't protect him. He gets hurt. Comes back his second year and takes that franchise to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. That's what I want from my quarterback.
Why can't that be Mendoza? You just said he went out there and got hurt because they were terrible.
No, you're telling me
I'm saying
that
Mendoza might go out there and get hurt because they're terrible. That's all I'm saying.
You could get hurt at any time in football. You can't baby people. I'm sorry. There's no perfect scenario to break a quarterback in and make him feel comfortable. Put the guy out there and let him play. I'm sorry.
Listen, I had an 0-16 team. The Detroit Lions. I saw a guy come in there and play through it, wanted to be there, and showed us, okay, this guy got some talent. He might be good for us. So I've been there when they threw him in the fire, and ultimately he improved, got to the postseason a couple times. He left some on the table every now and again, but so I've seen it on both ways. I don't know, for whatever reasons they believe that's why they went and got this veteran in Kirk Cousins to be there for him, to show him the ropes.
To waste snaps. Yeah, waste snaps.
And so he didn't get his leg snapped out there. That's what Kirk, you get snapped up and beat up. Not Mendoza. We got some hope, but we're young as heck. I think they got they're the youngest roster in the NFL.
All right, we want to hear from you. It is the Dan Patrick Show, the odd couple filling in. That's right. Should the Raiders start Fernando Mendoza in week 1? Remember, this isn't a podcast. This is a radio show. We want to hear from you.
Draymond.
That's right. Chime in. Call in. We'll continue this conversation next. It is the odd couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, on a funky Flashback Friday, sitting in for the Dan Patrick Show right here on Fox Sports Radio. And guess what, Alex?
What's that, Rob?
Stick and stay.
Unless by some chance we're already banned again by the U.S. of A.
16 minutes in already. All right, check it out. The summer travel season is here, and booking scams, well, it can start with one click. Travelers, they share personal and payment info across sites, and scammers exploit that with fake emails, bogus customer service numbers, manipulated search results, and look-alike booking sites. So slow down before you click, use unique passwords, and get customer service numbers from your confirmation or the company's official website. Cyber threats are everywhere, and that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for identity threats, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. And LifeLock alerts you right away if anything pops up. And if you do become a victim of identity theft, you get your own restoration specialist who will fix identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Your protection is backed by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package. So if your money is stolen or you need coverage for personal expenses or lost wages due to identity theft, LifeLock has your back. So join now, save up to 30% off your first year with promo code Patrick. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head to LifeLock.com. Use promo code Patrick for 30% off. Terms apply.
Hey, man, America's team back in the news again. Like they never left.
Exactly.
Like
they
never left. Now, even though the Cowboys have not even played in an NFC Championship game since they won the Super Bowl in 1996, that doesn't stop them from talking about the Super Bowl every chance we get. We mentioned it the last, 2-3 weeks on this show. Dak Prescott saying stuff. Jerry Jones is saying stuff. Well, now Troy Aikman jumped on a podcast recently, and he explained why he thinks the drought has been so long. Take a listen.
It all does start at the top, good or bad. I think starts at the top. I don't think Jerry would shy away from that. I think Jerry would certainly take responsibility. He'll take accountability if and when they win, and I think then you have to take responsibility when it hasn't worked out, and it hasn't worked out. I think the interesting thing is I've heard Jerry say that the reason he hasn't hired a general manager is because there are no guarantees, and no one can guarantee him that making a change at GM and replacing himself would guarantee that they would be any better. But if that's your philosophy, well, then you would never fire the head coach either. You would never make any changes because there are no guarantees whatsoever.
Exactly.
But they've been going down this road for so long, and yet it hasn't translated into success in January, and there has to be a reason for that.
All right, this is Troy Aikman, and now he was wondering why Jerry never asked him to get involved with the Cowboys. Because this is a lazy take, Troy Aikman. I get it. Jerry Jones should have turned over this football program to football people a long time ago. I'm with you. But to just say that it's all Jerry Jones' fault doesn't make sense. Because guess what? There's a guy in their front office named Will McClay who has done a great job in helping them draft, whatnot. They draft well. They get good players. As a GM and football players, they've been pretty good. And Troy Aikman, if it's all about Jerry Jones and how lousy he is, how in the world can you help me, Troy Aikman, or are you too busy counting money? Can you help me?
He do got the bread.
They won 12 games in 2021, 2022, and 2023. 12 games. So it ain't like they don't have players to win games. They've won games. Have they failed in the postseason? Absolutely. Maybe they haven't had the right coach. Maybe I'll give you that. But to just sit there and basically think that it's all Jerry Jones, how do you win 12 games and put together that kind of talent and win the NFC East Division a few times? They've had double-digit wins in 5 of their last 9 years. It ain't like they've always been also-rans or they're never in the mix. Now, I'll give you the postseason. It's been a long time. Yes, Moby Dick was a guppy the last time they were in the NFC Championship game. That drought is ridiculous. I'll give you that, Troy. But to just make the blanket statement that Jerry's at the top and it's all Jerry's fault, maybe some of these coaches weren't able to make it happen. Maybe the players, when it came time to the big stage, weren't able to make plays. And maybe Dak Prescott isn't going to win you a Super Bowl because he isn't that quarterback when you really need him. But it's hard to argue about some of the numbers. Go find me other teams that have won 12 games or more 3 years in a row. I'll wait. Because it ain't many.
But here's the issue, Rob. Nobody's question is he a great owner and a great showman and a great guy for the NFL and the sport as a whole. I will completely agree with you. I think he's been exactly what the NFL needs as far as just, keeping it moving forward and growing the game and all the cheerleaders and all blah, blah, just all this stuff. 100% agree with that. But I think where Troy was saying is you have guys, you have players, you had coaches in Jimmy Johnson, you had a team, and he wasn't, I want the credit. He's even admitted, I want my hands on, I want my fingerprints all over this, and that to me sometimes has backfired against him. Will he sign guys? Yes. Will he pay the bag to many players? Yes. Problem is, as the GM, Jerry Jones, he signs guys too late. He'll wait. Make them franchise for a year.
All that is good, but give me the... You're good enough to win, talent enough to win 12 games during the regular season in the division, so you can't say it's all Jerry because he's put together the pieces.
But I don't think anything is all anybody when you got to have 53 guys on the team. You got to have a coach. You got to have a general manager, offensive coordinator. I get that. But what I'm saying is throughout the last 30 years, 31 now, since they went to the NFC Championship game, there's been one constant. They've had new coaches. They've had new quarterbacks. They've had new players. They've had defensive coordinators. The one constant has been Jerry Jones. Fox Sports Radio, it is the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, and for Dan Patrick Show on this funky Flashback Friday. That's right, Dan Patrick Show, and we are the Odd Couple. And by the way, you can always find us on YouTube. Just search it. And everyone is searching for ways to save on insurance. Switch to Liberty Mutual, and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. Liberty. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent. Go check them out. All right, Rob, talking about Fernando Mendoza last night. Some good throws. Some I definitely think he would like to have back. What'd you see from him? The idea also that Kirk Cousins may start in place of the number one pick. 877-99 on Fox. Let's take some calls. Who we got?
All right, let's kick it off here on the Dan Patrick Show with the Odd Couple. Sean in Sacramento. You're on the Dan Patrick Show. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, my uncle from another mother. Cousin Kelvin, my brother's behind the board, man. Look, real quick, all y'all sleeping right now, all y'all youngsters trying to break into the biz, these men just pulled 2 shifts in 11 hours, man. Legendary work, bro. But, man, you already at it, man. I know chat row somewhere rolling their eyes, but You got to get it together, man. Let this man Mendoza spend some time on the bench. If you're going to have anybody transitioning him in, Kirk Cousins is the best dude to do it. They brought him in for a reason. Don't break his confidence now, man. And real quick, man, before I get off, man, shout out all the other odd mobbers, man. Chat roll, go ahead and suck it, man. We taking over the radio show. We know Dan's somewhere celebrating his daughter's wedding, but Uncle Rob taking over from here. You can't keep this man down for that long, Dan.
There we go. I'm back in the saddle. I was banned from Dan Patrick's show, I think.
It was fun while it lasted.
They never told me officially, but I just felt that way.
You felt it? All right. Well, I'm glad you unfeel it now.
Another Sean in Nashville. You're on the Dan Patrick Show with the Odd Couple. What's up, Sean?
What's goody? Good morning. Long time listener, first time call. I love what y'all do, man. Usually I'm listening at night.
Thank you.
As far as I'm concerned,
appreciate it.
With of course. As far as I'm concerned with Fernando Mendoza, I would think that you would put Kirk Cousins in first because Fernando Mendoza is going to end up coming in anyway. Either Kirk Cousins is going to stink or he's going to get hurt. I'm not wishing that he gets hurt, but because I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm coming from having Kenny Pickett. So I know how that's going to go. I'm not saying that Mendoza is going to beat Kenny Pickett, but at the same time, go ahead and put Cousins in and let him stink it up for a little bit. The Raiders ain't going nowhere anyway. It's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, they're too young. They just don't have the talent right now. Rob.
The Spurs are too young too. They're not going anywhere.
Did you just say the Spurs with all that talent?
The Spurs aren't going. They're too young. They can't make it. You pick OKC. You said they were too young.
First of all, the Spurs.
I'm just saying.
First of all, you said Wemby is in his season 3, not
Sean,
a rookie.
Sean, there you go.
Look at Sean. You hear what I got to deal with every day?
No.
That man, the Spurs' best player.
I keep receipts.
Is a third-year player. He had already been in the league. Mendoza ain't even had a start yet, Rob.
Can I give you a fun fact? Here we go.
Give me
all
one.
right, here's a fun fact for you.
Give me one.
Jamarcus Russell would consider him a bust, would you say, right? With the Raiders, bust, right?
Yes, he would consider him a bust.
Never threw a pick six in 31 career games played. Fernando threw one in his second preseason game. Just a little fun.
If you don't burn that fun, wasn't nothing fun about that.
That was fun for me.
You know how many people have thrown pick six and are in the Hall of Fame?
I'm just saying. It's just a fun fact. And he was a bona fide bust, so I'm just saying we'll see where.
You dug up all these facts. Jamarcus Russell. Don't ever the definition of a bust. So in fact, if that's the case, you just told me I got a fun fact for you. You know what I want my quarterbacks to do? The exact opposite of what Jamarcus Russell did. So if he never threw a pick six, go get your pick six on quarterbacks so you don't end up like Jamarcus Russell.
I'm just saying.
Matter of fact, you just did with something, Rob G. You know how it is with your daughters. I'm gonna tell my daughter to do the exact opposite of whatever somebody else did.
So, like, Rob G is our resident Raiders fan. I mean,
I don't know if he is anymore because he talks about other teams more than he does Raiders. Would you not agree with that?
He's always picking the Giants and the Jets to get to the Super Bowl or something.
Who else did you
Why are you bringing up old stuff? Hey, Rob picked the Bucks to win the championship this year. See, we can all do that. We can play that game.
Where are you at? This is your guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm not the huge Fernando Mendoza fan. I think I've told you guys that before. It's not that I don't think he could be good. It's that I don't feel like there was ever a real evaluation of him as a quarterback. It was like Tom Brady's like, hey, 6'5". I was 6'5". Kind of dorky. I was kind of dorky. He doesn't move through. I don't move too well. He plays the game between the ears. That's how I play the game. So I'm going to draft this guy. And in fact, we're going to sit him an entire year because you know what? I sat an entire year. So everything that he thinks about what a quarterback should be, which is himself, he's just projecting that on a Fernando Mendoza.
I want to say this and to both of you. If Indiana doesn't win, do they feel the same way about him? And I'm not talking about his numbers, and I know he played well, but if they don't win a national, do you know what I mean? I think that winning a national championship, even if you have question marks or you're like, he did come out of nowhere, and but they won.
It might be his biggest selling point. Right? It really could be because if you just look physically, there's nothing special about Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, his arm, I mean, it's strong, but it's not
good.
the strongest.
He's solid in a lot of areas.
His accuracy was high, but he had to only play a certain type of way. I mean, there's a lot. Listen, other years, he might have been the third or fourth quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. But
and I do agree with that. I'm not going to act like he's some transcendent where everybody knew coming clear. You got guys who were coming out, Cam Newton, Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, just naming
Andrew
guys.
Luck. When you just knew Trevor Lawrence, you're like, hey.
Yeah, they clearly knew that guy's the number one pick.
Right.
He's going to, and whether they came out to be great or not, this guy, again, just emerged out of nowhere. And out of the blue to Kurt Cignetti's, I don't know, creating that team and winning absolutely helped him. And it happens. It happens from time. It's called right place, right time. Yeah, you go to Indiana, you win, your numbers are good.
Right. Indiana won a national championship. Indiana, a basketball school with no football history, right? So I think people got to nail it.
If there's one thing that should have you worried, again, it's early. He seems to be about the right stuff, and you guys know when it comes to football, if we could project this stuff out, then we never have a bust. Right. DeMarcus Russell would have been great. Mm-hmm. The list goes on. He seems to have the right head on his shoulders. He's focused on football. That's most of the battle 90% of the time when it comes to these guys. Can you whip in the ears? But Kurt Cignetti had 5 different starting quarterbacks over his last 5 years. This will be 6 coming up this year. Each of the 5 quarterbacks he had was all conference. So either he knows how to pick quarterbacks better than anybody in college football history, or there's something about his system that makes it so that every quarterback he has looks really good.
Oh, it happens all the time in universities. I mean, do you remember the last 25 years of like Texas Tech? Guys would come in and throw up crazy numbers, just the way their offense was. Oregon has that same kind of thing where if you go be a quarterback at Oregon, you're going to put up crazy numbers during your, whether it be 1 year or 2 years as a starter. There are some schools, some systems, some coaches where if you play under me, the way we're going to move this ball, your numbers are going to be crazy. And then we'll find out if you're actually as good as you are, the numbers say that you are, or if you're a product of this system. But that does happen. Absolutely. There are teams, systems, coaches, programs where fill in the blank, you come here, this is going to happen. I mean, if you're a running back at Alabama under Nick Saban, whether you ended up being very, very good in the NFL, great, or just, you were going to put up crazy numbers at Alabama. The way they went out there, got the big uglies, the offensive line, and how they would just dominate back then, especially back then when recruiting was different. The money, you didn't have wink, wink. You didn't have NIL money to give out like that. So you were getting best players year in, year out, best offensive line. If you were running back at Alabama, your numbers were going to be nuts. So, yeah, I don't think even optimistic Raider fans, or maybe just fans of the NFL as a whole, I don't think we're projecting him to be that great. I think he's one of those good, and if your team and everything is around him, you can win with him. He won't hurt you. But I don't expect him to be like a. I don't expect him to be
lukewarm water with some brown dirt in it. That's the way I feel like. I'm just at the tub, if it doesn't all the way go down and the water's just kind of a little lukewarm.
I mean, how dirty were you, Rob? That the tub was brown. I need to understand what was going. The New York streets can have you walking way too much.
I took the subway here this morning. I had to get on the subway. I was a commuter. Did you see my?
Yeah, I did see the text. Well, you put it on Instagram too?
No, I didn't get it on Instagram.
Okay, about the second. Were you in between like a gazillionaire and a homeless person?
Exactly. You know how the subways are. That's how we roll in New York. But it was weird, getting on the train and heading into the city to come do the radio show this morning. Definitely a different feel.
I'm starting to feel like Rob G. He ain't never coming back. I'm starting to think you're enjoying New York a little too much.
Nah, I'll be back tomorrow, Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow. Are you kidding? I got work to do. School starts on Monday at USC, so my students in my sports commentary class get ready for that. Can't wait.
All right. Hey, school is back, man. That's wild for you already. Hey, by the way, you mentioned you got work to do. You know who else has some work to do? And you can say the person or you can say the team. Shedeur Sanders and the Browns. We're talking about Kirk Cousins. Look like he may start for Mendoza. Well, it looks like it may be Deshaun Watson starting for the Browns. Where are you at, Rob, when it comes to the quarterback or lack thereof situation with the Browns?
I think Shedeur has missed a golden opportunity. The Browns didn't have a quarterback, really. Deshaun Watson, despite his contract, I understand. Like, I hear the excuse of people saying, well, they can't cut him because it would be a massive cap hit. Okay, we got that. But if I have to pay the contract anyway, right, he could be the backup quarterback and sit there where I don't damage the salary cap. I mean, the cap hit. Right? I got to pay him anyway. If my best chance to win, and I'm Todd Monken and I'm trying to be a head coach in the NFL, and my best opportunity to win is by playing Shedeur Sanders, who's making way less money, I'm going to play Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't make any sense to start Deshaun Watson just because of the salary. I have to pay it regardless. So I can pay it, play Shedeur Sanders because he's the best quarterback, and win some games. And maybe solidify another year as a head coach in the NFL or get another contract. If I'm Todd Monken, I don't believe it. To me, Shedeur Sanders hasn't done enough last year or this year for anybody to buy into him. There's no bonus playing Deshaun Watson. He's been bad since he came from Houston, right? Mm-hmm. He was injured. Every strike is against Deshaun Watson. Every plus is for Shedeur Sanders. And Todd Monken and the Browns still don't want to make him the starting quarterback. What does that tell you? It tells you he hasn't done enough to convince people in that organization that he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. Because the Browns are about as low as you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you get my. Does that make sense to you?
Does. Listen, I said it. You and I have talked about it a million times. If you can't cut him,
I understand it. Okay, but you could still play Shedeur if you think he's better. And I think I got to pay the money anyway.
I think Shedeur will play. I think it's similar. Listen, there's a reason
why. Why not start him? No, why not start? I don't understand why not.
I'll tell you why. When you're a new coach, you got a guy who's been in. This would be year 2 for Shedeur, and obviously, if he let's say he was a starter, this will be his first year as a full-time starter. If that was the case. But it's not right now. And I think when you're looking at Deshaun Watson, it's a safer pick in that, okay, well, he's a veteran. He knows, he
didn't play he got hurt last year.
Right, but he's been in the league now for a decade. So I'm saying, okay, he's a veteran. He knows the ins and outs better to be a pro than Shedeur does. And I think the money does. I think you're understating or underselling the money a little bit more than I would. I think that matters because, yes, I have to pay him. Because I'm saying if I have to pay him, then I might as well get something out of him.
No. Especially, not if he can't help you win.
But especially, and this is where I agree.
That makes you have a new coach whose career is on the line.
But this is where I'm agreeing.
Everybody has to get a second chance.
Shedeur, I agree that he hasn't made a massive separation between the two. I'm completely in agreement with that. It's not as if Shedeur's come out and look like prime Patrick Mahomes or something where you're like, clearly that's our guy. I think if he's been playing close, and all the reports of coming out of training camp was that Shedeur was playing better. He had better high completion percentage. He hadn't thrown an interception at all during training camp. So that's a slight gap.
He had one in a game.
Right. But slightly in better play during training camp for Shedeur. But I mentioned this the other day to you. It's going to have to be a larger separation gap, in my opinion, because if not, well, I'm going to roll with the guy who's a veteran, and we owe him the money anyway. Give him a look. Just give him one more chance. That's what I think they would do. Kelvin, I am in favor of starting Shedeur. Just if he goes out there and flames out, at least I can say, man, look, we gave you last year. It was a difficult situation. We're starting 3-4 different quarterbacks last year. It was a mess. I'll give you that. I will concede that. We saw some things. We didn't like this. We're going to work on that. You had a couple of throws as well. Let's give you a chance this year. New coach, let's start this thing. He's got a new system. Let's roll it. That's all I would prefer to do because for me, Rob, I know what I have with Deshaun Watson.
See, here's where I'm going to push back, and I don't buy your argument at all. If I'm Todd Monken, all right, like the NFL stands for not for long, okay? So you're going to put in, somebody will say, what kind of coach are you put in a broken down Deshaun Watson who hasn't played well since he stepped into Cleveland? You have this, everybody's ranting and raving about Shedeur Sanders, and he's got the it factor, and he's selling the most jerseys in the NFL, and everybody's all excited, and the fan base wants him, and you don't play him, okay? But you play the guy who you have to pay regardless whether he plays or not. The idea of getting something out of him doesn't make any sense to me. If you believe you have a guy in Shedeur Sanders who can be a quarterback, who can be the same thing. I bring up the same argument all the time, and Pete Carroll in Seattle where they have Matt Flynn in place. They went and they got him from Green Bay. Oh, my God, yes, we finally got a quarterback. And this Russell Wilson, who I believe, Rob G, correct me, was a fourth-round pick,
I think it was
right?
third.
Was he third or fourth? Okay,
Russell Wilson.
third. Was he third?
It was third, yep.
Okay, third-round pick. When Russell Wilson, he shows up, and they immediately go, oh, no, our quarterback is right. This guy right here. It's this guy. And that started the turnaround. And my point is, if Shador has anything that you can build on, and you're Todd Monken, okay, you notice, Kelvin, I'll give you one other example, like a TV, being in the TV business.
Mm-hmm.
The coach or the news director isn't going to mess around with Rob Parker because I've already been there. You know what you get from him. Kelvin Washington is the new hotshot reporter that I brought in when I took over the news division. If we get better numbers, I'm going to get credit for Kelvin because I put him in place. If I go back to Deshaun Watson, I don't get anything for that. If I can identify Shador Sanders as the next quarterback of the Browns, I'm going to cement myself there in the organization because I made the gutsy move. I didn't play the quarterback who had the bigger contract. I played the quarterback with the best talent, and that's what I'm trying to say.
And I hear that, but here's
is that he doesn't have the talent. That's why they're not picking him.
Oh, I'm not going to sit up here and act like he's coming in there looking like peak when Cam Newton was just the physical specimen coming in and oh shoot, look at this guy.
Even when we see Cam Newton at the Super Bowl as a
he's
retired
got to
player,
relax.
he's a specimen.
No, he's got to relax.
I'm just talking about.
No, I'm with you. You can't be walking around here 6'6", chiseled up still, looking all handsome and tall, and no, he's got to relax. But here's where I'll counter your point, Rob, when you say they're not for long, so let me start the guy. I think the safety valve is Shador in this case, in that you roll out Deshaun, and if he looks like Deshaun, meaning, not horrible, just not good, and you can say, hold on, wait. I can go to Shador where there's optimism still a little bit. There's some hope. There's some maybe in this. There's some, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he gets better. Maybe he's improves. So if you're saying as a coach, I'm looking at it the opposite. If I start with Shador and he comes out bad and it's like, well, we got to go to Deshaun, then it's a wrap. Not that you're going to get fired, but meaning the optimism and hope is gone. If I had to go to Deshaun.
But if you're a coach and you go with Shador and they start playing better because he has some quarterback savvy and makes some throws and you win games, it's the exact opposite. Thank you, Rob. Todd Monken.
I stall it out because I get to go, all right, Deshaun is looking at, but I got to wait. If you're a fan, you're going to wait till we can put Shador. Let's see, he's going to get better. He's going to improve. He's got another year under his belt, a new system, and I can prolong that hope and finally get him out there. If I'm a coach and say, now, here is my game plan. It was to let him get better, to let him grow, and now he's going to roll out. To me, that's the opposite. I'm rolling that out off the bat because, again, I'm with you. I do agree. I don't think Shador is coming out like gangbuster where it's obvious that he has to be the starter. I think from only based on the reports we ain't in Cleveland is that he's been playing better.
It doesn't make any sense. It tells you every opportunity should be for the young guy with the upside. Deshaun Watson is not the young guy with the upside. And the idea that they still would rather go over him tells you that Shador doesn't have it. I've been covering the NFL since 1987. I'm sorry.
If you're saying
I don't buy it.
He's Dan Marino, then I'm completely in agreement. But I got to roll somebody out there for 17 weeks and have some optimism and get even my own players, let alone the crowd, the fans. I got to give my players something to believe in, and I think Shador can offer that more than Deshaun. All right, is it better for me and you to fight? Or for us to fight somebody else, because that's what's been happening in some of these NFL scrimmages. We'll tell you about that on the other side. It is the Odd Couple, and for Dan Patrick and the Danettes on this funky Flashback Friday. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
Lamar Jackson is tier 2 again this season, QB5 overall. But here's what's interesting, guys. Lamar Jackson has only been a tier 1 quarterback one time in his NFL career. This year, of course, down year, was injured. The whole team was kind of down. And they said, hey, we know you've been awesome most of your career, and that 1 year last year as a tier 1 must have been a blip because you're back in tier 2, buddy.
Man, this is ridiculous. And we talked about Patrick Mahomes. Forget all that. Patrick Mahomes being tier 1, quarterback 1. Maybe he should have been quarterback 2, 3, 4. I don't give a dang. I was more offended on this list by Lamar Jackson and the fact that he has only been a tier 1 quarterback one other time. This makes no sense, Rob. We talk about this all the time. Has he been perfect in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Has his team lost him a couple games? For sure. Has he had some games and
he just gave Zay Flowers $1 million?
Right, $100-something million. Has there been games and throws that he wishes he had back? Absolutely. But week in, week out, 17 weeks a year, there's nobody you can tell me. There's no reason why he's not a tier 1. And this is ridiculous.
But I just brought up the Josh Allen at the end of the first half of that playoff game against Denver. Rob G, you saw that game. Did Josh Allen not cost him?
Yeah, he cost himself points and then gave up points. Exactly. That's the worst thing you can do.
It was the worst thing that you could do.
Yeah, and so Lamar hasn't been great. He'll be the first to admit it. But let me tell you some things, Rob. We go over this all the time, and maybe people need a reminder. In fact, these people who did these quarterback tiers, let me remind you, get the earwax out your ears. You listening? He, my friend, Lamar Jackson, has the all-time career passer rating amongst qualified quarterbacks. Did you hear what I just said to you? He has the all-time highest quarterback passing rating in NFL history. And that's a guy who everybody said couldn't throw, couldn't do this. The man has been throwing
Bill Polian? Yeah.
41 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions prior to last year. He has, of course, not even mentioned in the rushing yards. Absolutely ridiculous what he does. First quarterback in NFL history with multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Okay? He holds the most rushing yards by a quarterback through their first 8 years. He is a 2-time MVP, should have been 3, 4-time Pro Bowler, first team All-Pro 3 times. Tom Brady was All-Pro, 2 or 3 times his whole 20-some-year career?
Rob G,
make this make sense.
Tom Brady 3 times? I don't even think it's 4. Aaron Rodgers might have 4.
But that's what I'm saying. He's already has 3-time All.
It's hard to be All-Pro quarterback.
Right, because you're the only one. And he's been the one. He's been MVP, like I said, 4 Pro Bowls. I just don't understand. And last season was his first time having a losing record. Rob
G, give us the how hard it is to be All Pro.
First team All Pro
is very difficult.
Very difficult.
You're 1 out of the 32.
Right. So guys, number 1 Peyton Manning with 7,
which is incredible.
Aaron Rodgers, you mentioned, is second with 4. After that, it's a 5-way tie for third.
Can I guess some of them?
Sure.
Lamar, we know.
Yep.
Tom Brady.
Yep.
Brett Favre.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes.
Nope.
No, right.
The greatest quarterback of all time, Patrick Mahomes, guy who can never be knocked down a peg. Is
he ain't here. Drew Brees?
Nope.
Who's the other one?
We got 2 more?
2 more. Think 80s and 90s.
Wow.
Oh, Joe Montana.
Joe Montana's one?
Yeah, that's easy. Come on.
This other one's I don't think you're going to get it.
Steve Young.
Wow, look at you. Someone knows ball.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Steve Young is probably the most underrated.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not talked about as being
Steve Young, the talent isn't, and even the record too. But
a lot of it is because the 49ers were so good with Montana.
Sure.
You kind of because he only, what did they win? He only got one
in 94.
And they won 4, so it's he was good. But
and they were sandwiched between, and then, I mean, not saying, but then you're right after the Niners, then the Cowboys. So it's you had so much epic
just to your guys' point, happening. Though, can you imagine having a conversation with a legitimate NFL person, whether it's a scout or executive like in this list here, and say, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Steve Young, Joe Montana, none of those guys are tier 1 quarterbacks. But Lamar Jackson, who has as many first-team All-Pros as all those guys,
which is crazy,
has only been viewed as a tier 1 guy one time.
Wait, did y'all hear what I just said to y'all? 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and Dagner ran for 1,000 yards. Who on that list? Hey, Rob G.
You mean that was
2024. I'm saying the last time he was healthy.
No, that was the year he didn't win the MVP. Right. He had the best numbers he's ever had, and he didn't win an MVP that year.
Rob G. Who on that list can do what he did? He did what they did. I guarantee you probably threw more touchdowns than just about everybody on that list, other than a handful of seasons, for all those guys. So I'm not, again, nobody say he even had to be QB1 tier 1. But the idea that he's only been tier 1 once, Rob, come on, make that make sense, man. Fox Sports Radio, The Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, and for Dan Patrick and the Danettes on this funky Flashback Friday. Good pull here, DJ Ali Alex.
You know what I noticed? We didn't give our weight and height. That's like a thing they like to do here.
Oh, yeah.
Rob G's 5'2", 175.
What are you?
No, he used to be. He said 5'2", 175 for Rob G. Rob G used to be that. Now he's
5'2", a girthy 212.
No, 5'2", 88 pounds now. Me,
Rob G, how much do you weigh now?
I'm down to 175.
Wow, unbelievable.
honestly, bro, you look lighter than that. Like, seriously. I thought he was going to be like, well, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I do have a 38-pound head.
You have a Bobby World.
I do have to admit, though, as you guys are talking about how much Rob G has lost and all that, I'm so messed up mentally because I just had an apple crumb donut and I felt like totally guilty, like I had done a crime, a sin. Like, what are you doing eating a apple crumb donut?
How dare you, Rob?
Morning time.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. With you, I've been around you now long enough to know.
How dare you, Rob?
Because you are 0-100, all in or out, as much as Alex, we think he's going to be able to just, put on a few more pounds during his girthy season.
Extra girthy.
I just think you can't, man. If you're going to go there, you're going to go there. Like, I just spent a week with you in Atlanta, and I mean, you went there. The picture I put up is hilarious. You definitely was sauced up.
I was drinking. I hadn't been drinking for a while.
And that's my point. You do so well. So you're gonna be all right this year.
All right, I'm gonna be all right.
You're gonna be all right.
I gotta get back there.
5'10" and a half, 230 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta get down about 15.
What you got right now, Rob Parker?
I'm at 6'4", 190. Not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's good. I want to get there. Shoot, y'all couldn't tell me nothing.
What was I? 230 something? Remember, I got to 2.
Yeah, that was a little.
That was
a lot.
That was a little bit much.
You were walking in the door before walking in the door.
Yes, I know.
Here's Rob. Where is he? He's coming. We see it. Give him a second. I see him. Hey, real quick.
That was my heaviest right there.
No, last Super Bowl was crazy. I'm telling you, me and Rob G were one more bag of chips from giving an intervention to you. One more bag of chips, Rob.
I was just hungry all the time. I couldn't figure it out.
Were you really, or were you being greedy?
Being greedy because the food was free.
There you go. I'm glad we worked our way to it. The good thing is I don't have to beat you up sometimes. What I say that to say is we get fights happen in training camps and practices, and Saquon Barkley had some thoughts on it.
I'm the wrong guy to ask because I hate joint practice, to be honest. I think one day's good, but we play in a ego-filled sport with a lot of men, and I'm all about just putting the work in, and it's good to go against someone new. I think we're at that part of camp where we needed to go against a new face. But I do think if you do it the right way, there's a lot of good out of it. Going against different looks, going against different people. It's hard when you got to run the same play over and over against JC and JD.
Yeah, he went on to say some more. Basically, he said, you get into these fights, he said, oh, by the way, I am an instigator at times. My whole point, Rob, quickly, I like the scrimmages between other teams. As he mentioned it, you don't want to keep beating up on your teammates, going crazy. That's when you get these fights, and I don't want to be beating up my teammates. If I'm going to beat up somebody else, I'd rather beat the other team. And just to get different looks, just so those guys can get that energy off against someone else. Because it gets, man, listen, it's hot. You are living out here. It's been crazy with the weather, all of that, and you're battling against your own teammates over and over and over again, play after play. Sometimes you at least need to get that out there. And I'd almost say it can be more effective in those cases than even these preseason games where you throw on all the clothes and the whole uniform and go out there and do nothing. You don't want to show your hand. You don't want to show plays. Starters don't start. I think those scrimmages where they're going up against each other can be better.
Yeah. I'm not convinced. They play for a long time without scrimmaging other teams during the preseason, and they're not going to show you anything anyway. I don't know how much you really get out of it. I get it other than just the scenery, but I'm not there.
The scenery.
That's it.
Yeah, the scenery. Well, hey, we got something else to debate about because I think you disagree with me on the MVPs. and Ohtani in baseball. We'll do that. It's the Odd Couple in for Dan Patrick on a Funky Flashback Friday.
We are Buzzword.
Like I said with Anthony Richardson a little bit, just stay the course, J.J. McCarthy. I mean, Kyler Murray's one of the smallest quarterbacks in the game. He's shown he gets hurt too. When you get your chance, you just got to be ready to go. And I think that's the only way he's going to get back into the graces of the locker room and the fan base to believe him. It couldn't go the other way around. So totally agree with you. It had to be Kyler Murray. That's the way it should be. And I feel the same way in Cleveland. It should be Shedeur Sanders. And let's just move on.
Well, that's funny. I was going to ask you that, right? Because if you you read my mind, if you're the Browns, you're not going to be any good with Deshaun Watson. Why not see what you have headed into a great quarterback draft with Shedeur Sanders? Find out if you have a quarterback or not.
I think they know that. I think they're getting there. And, I think Deshaun Watson won OTAs, right? He might have won the first few days of training camp. And, of course, They've paid him all this money, so they're going to try to get something out of him. And I think that you listen to anybody or talk to anybody out in Cleveland, they're going to tell you that really after the first day or two, Shedeur Sanders has whooped Deshaun Watson's ass, really.
Crazy.
Other than maybe one day.
Right.
And most of the big plays in camp are being made by Shedeur. So, yeah, I just go, it's inevitable. I mean, come on, what are we doing? We know Deshaun Watson's not the long-term answer. And we haven't seen Deshaun Watson play good football since Houston. And I don't think he's ever, in my opinion, I don't think he's capable of doing it ever again. It's just one of those things where when you're away from the game that long and your aura and your karma and everything have been messed with because of the things that happened off the field. And I tell people all the time, it's hard to go into a room and be real charismatic when you know everybody in the room's going, hey, there's the guy with the massage parlor. Hey, that's the guy that had all the lawsuits. I mean, that's going to take away some of your charisma and some of who you are. And I feel like that's been lost along with some of the natural feel of the quarterback position on the field.
He's living with demons, man, and everyone knows
exactly.
it.
It's hard. Whether what you think of it or not, he hears those whispers when he's walking in, and he knows everybody's looking at him like that. So it's hard to have a real charismatic aura like that when you've gone through some of that and people are kind of talking behind your back.
position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the 4 Danettes are not here. So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Hour number 2 on the Dan Patrick Show. That's right. With the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington. Coast to coast today. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in New York, and Kelvin's in Los Angeles.
You want to be home?
Where I'm at. It's all good. Man, we got a lot coming up on the Dan Patrick Show.
Oh, yeah.
Julia McWilliams, who is CBS Sports' national baseball reporter in about 5 minutes. And somebody I've known his whole career, does a great job covering Major League Baseball. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. You can watch us live on YouTube right now. Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. It'll be the best thing you do all day. You hear me? Check us out. Check out the YouTube channel. Watch us live. Just search Odd Couple FSR and subscribe. And don't forget, normally the Odd Couple's on 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox Sports Radio. And we take pride in our show as being fun and informative. And here we are, about to start our 9th year on the Odd Couple, 8 full years, September 16th or something like that. Very close to it. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kelvin, let's go to baseball. You know the number one sport in my life. And the MVP race.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on how you want to go on this, because a lot of people are saying it ain't going to be just a given that it's Shohei Ohtani, Rob G. They're saying it could be somebody else, and that Ohtani might have to finally sit back and watch somebody else win it.
Yeah, depending on who you follow for the odds makers, you know we're big fans. Lamar Mitchell, BetMGM, shout out to
Lamar.
Absolutely.
And, it's been back and forth all season. Is it Ohtani one week? It's PCA another week. Well, most recently.
And this is weird because it never was. It's like this. It's Ohtani's to lose.
Right, exactly. Normally. And now, most recently, PCA is the odds-on favorite to win the NL MVP. And in fact, ESPN surveyed 21 anonymous National League players that, hey, who do you think should win the MVP this season? And 2 of them said split the vote, so we're going to discard them because they can't make a decision.
We don't, Rob G, we don't play
like
that on the Odd Couple.
It's like, hey, what's your favorite food? Chinese or Italian? Well, I like them both. No. It's not that hard.
No.
Pick one.
Chinese, by the way.
Yeah, pick one.
Chinese is the answer.
Seriously.
Italian.
So we're going to count 19 guys who did make a decision, and of the 19, 15 of them took PCA over Shohei Ohtani.
DTM? Doing too much? They're doing too much, Rob.
I've said this before, and for all the listeners out there, the Dan Patrick listeners, this is why you can't allow players to vote, because they have skin in the game, okay? There's jealousy that's involved. We talked about it a million times. When the NBA allowed players to vote for the All-Star game for the first time, like 130 did not vote for LeBron James. Like 160 didn't vote for Kevin Durant. Like, who are these guys?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
You're playing against these guys, and there's an exhibition coming up, and you don't believe that LeBron James should be on the All-Star team or Kevin Durant? That's jealousy. That has nothing to do with basketball or you knowing the game better than the fans. That's all that is. And the same thing here. I'm not saying that PCA doesn't deserve it, Kelvin, but it should be a closer vote than 15-4. That's jealousy against Shohei Ohtani.
I mean,
they hate him. They hate him because he's that good. They don't want to see him win another MVP. Enough already with the Ohtani. That's what the players in the National League are. Anybody but Ohtani. It's wrong.
Fatigue. I tell you about this all the time. Humans are humans, right? And I'll give the baseball writers credit. They usually can get it right, and we've talked about it before. Barry Bonds wasn't necessarily great to the media, yet they still said, I don't like that dude. But dang, he's great at baseball. I can't take that away from him. So when you're looking at players, they're tired of it. They're looking for anybody to say it's not just Ohtani year in, year out. And also I think it helps too, or hurts Ohtani, is that his team is also good and has won it. So it's not only that you're good, your team's good, you're winning it, you're buying players. I think they're just looking at that through some hating goggles. And when you look at this, and you look at the stats, you're like, all right, well, why is PCA so much better? Batting average, 279 PCA, 291 for Shohei Ohtani. On-base percentage, 378 for PCA, 388 for Ohtani. Slugging percentage, he's up a few points there as well. He's up when it comes to on-base plus slug. Like, what do you want to look at? Home runs, PCA is up by 1. It's 31-30. And lastly, my point is, too, RBI, you're looking at that. Shohei's up by 1 as well. It's 80-79. So,
but that's why it shouldn't be a blowout
exactly.
one way or the other.
And the stolen bases is where PCA that he's made his claim, right? He's the first one to 30 for 30 in quite some time. And so he has 31 home runs. He has 31 stolen bases. But I'd said this before to you. I think he's going to have to do something like 40 for 40 in order to beat Shohei, because at the end of the day, you got a guy whose ERA was 179 when he was pitching. I think it's 85 innings pitched, 90-something strikeouts. That, to me, is going to weigh in his favor. I think we're getting so used to Shohei that we're forgetting he's an alien. What he's doing is absurd. So, yeah, I'm with you. I just think it's a little fatigue, whether you want to call it hate and want to call it skin in the game like you as well, jealousy as well. So I'm definitely with you on that. All right. Let's get to Julian McWilliams. On right now, CBS Sports national baseball reporter. And Julian, you've had we just came back from a journalist conference, and I've always teased Rob. I mean, I don't know who Rob doesn't know. My goodness. He said he's known and watched your whole career, Julian.
He has. Even before my career. He's been there. He's been there. Obviously, that's my guy. I love that guy.
Let me ask you this, Julian. Have you actually ever worked with him? Like, technically, you work at the same place together?
No.
Hey, man. Hey, no. But we worked. I did a hit at 7 Mile Road at Sporty Cuts. Right? Was it Rob? Sporty Cuts
That's
at 7
it.
Mile Road?
At my barber shop, 100%.
And we did, when we was trying to get off the shop show, then your boy LeBron tried to act like he had an original idea, but it was always Rob's idea, with the barbershop show. So, I've never worked with him, but he's worked with me and throughout my career, and I'm always appreciative of that.
Julian, the only reason I ask is Rob knows I tease him. Now that I'm officially a part of it as well, you're the only person left in media who's never worked with Rob Parker.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying. Everybody in the world has worked with him. Oh, man. But what's up, man? Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's get to this Ohtani, Pete Crow-Armstrong, PCA. Where are you on this in the vote? The players have it as a blowout for PCA. They are all about him. Ohtani, of course, pitched. He's not pitching now, but put in 85 innings or something, 82 innings. Where are you on the National League MVP vote?
Man, I'm so glad you guys asked me this, because I was listening and I was like, I hope they ask me about Ohtani. I'm PCA all the way, baby. I mean, I think it's obvious. Like, we got to start rewarding Ohtani for pitching, because you know what? Even when he did pitch, he only averaged about 14 starts per year if you include the years he's hurt. He's never on the mound. We can't reward, and when he's on the mound, he's on a pitch limit. Just because he does something means automatically that he's the MVP. The guy's a DH. When you look at PCA, he's the best defensive center fielder in all of baseball. He's the best player on the Cubs. He's having a dynamic offensive season. He can steal bases just like Ohtani. And like I said, he is the best center fielder in all of baseball, one of the more premier positions in baseball besides shortstop and catcher. You got to go with PCA right now. I think he's just having too great of a season. Ohtani, had 11 starts on a pitch limit? Come on, guys.
14 starts, number one. Number two, why? Hold on, Julian. We started off good. Oh, man, so great to be here. I don't like the tone, Julian. Now you over here going at Shohei because he's pitching.
Guys.
What you want with the man? The man is pitching at a 179. There was a point in time, Julian, where we were saying, man, if he gets enough innings, could he be a Cy Young winner? And you're belittling something that we don't see. Who turns around and gives you 30-plus home runs, might mess around and get you 40, while also giving you those 14 starts and giving you 90-plus strikeouts? What, like you're acting like that's a normal walk in the park?
Ouchie, my knee hurts. Ouchie, my elbow hurts. He always has an ouchie. He's Mr. Ouchie. Shohei Ohtani Ouchie. I don't know, Rob.
He done called him Dr. Fauci up in this thing. This is crazy.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I like that, Julian. Okay,
Ouchie. He's always hurt. He's always had something. And I think right at this point, it's ego with him, with his pitching stuff. You know what?
I agree with that.
Said it years ago. John Smoltz said it years ago, and everybody was like, oh, how could you say that? John Smoltz is a hater. John Smoltz said it's not sustainable. It's not. It's not. You know what? You did it. You were an alien. You are great for that. You're going down as one of the greatest players of all time. I don't have you as the greatest player of all time. I still got Willie Mays as the greatest player of all time, but that's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is you're going down as one of the greatest players of all time. You're playing two different sports. Pitching and hitting are basically two different. It's freakish what he's doing. But come on, man, at some point you're hurting your team if you can't stay on the ball field the way you need to stay on the ball field. There's more value in him being an outfielder than it is him being a pitcher at this point, I believe. The Dodgers are stacked. You or put him in the bullpen.
But that's why, Julian, I agree. Julian, I would agree with you on probably 95% of other teams where they absolutely desperately need you. The Dodgers are so deep that they don't need him in center field. So him just being out there, it's a luxury to say, hey, if anything ever happened, we got a guy who can go back out there in the outfield. We got a guy who can pitch. We got a guy who can hit. And by the way, PCA is having a really, really good season. Clearly, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're putting a little bit of sauce. You talk on what he's doing. I mean, this isn't – you're overextending what he's doing a little bit. You give me a little too much sauce on it.
All right, our guest is Julian McWilliams, CBS Sports national baseball reporter, one of the best baseball writers in the country, hands down. There's no doubt about it. Julian, I want to switch over to the New York Yankees, and they have the best pitching ERA in baseball. Judge is about to start some light baseball work if they can get some players back. The American League is down. Everybody knows it's the weaker of the two leagues. Can the Yankees get back to the World Series with their pitching? And we saw Garrett Cole last night against the Orioles pitch a really good game and has pitched well his last 5 starts. Where are you on the Yankees and their pitching?
Yeah, they can. I think they have the best. I'm with you, Rob. I think they have the best pitching in all of baseball in terms of starters, right? And the Yankees have been doing this for a while in terms of just being able to develop guys, but also go out and get free agents. Cam Schlittler is a Cy Young candidate. Like, where did he come from? He wasn't one of the top prospects. Then you go down the list from, Rodon to Cole, Fried. Now, I will say this, Rob. It does scare me a little bit that Max Fried is back on the IL with the same thing that kept him out for months.
No doubt.
But, however, in an American League that is down, an American League that features, you have the Seattle Mariners who have choked away their prime and seem like they haven't been able to get together. You have a team like the Twins who are tied with the Rangers for the last wild card spot at 63 and 65. It's gross what I'm watching in the American League. You got the Toronto Blue Jays who sold off some of their pieces, and all of a sudden they're a half game out. Anything can happen in the American League. But again, I will add that their pitching staff is deep, but they're an injury or two away from not being able to make that run, because I do believe at the end, Toronto's gotten hot. And I think Toronto is sort of the Yankees' kryptonite when it comes to their pitching staff, because they put the ball in play and the Yankees rely so much on the strikeout. So if they have to play Toronto or a team like that, that can give them some issues.
Well, I'll go here with you, Julian. We were talking about this a bit. I mean, what the heck happened to the Blue Jays? And yes, you're mentioning they won 7 the last 10 and starting to, get some wins in that column.
And they have a 3-game series with the Yankees tonight starting at Yankee Stadium.
Absolutely. But what happened to them? Tell me what happened to them. What happened to the Mariners, who were, a series away from trying to get into the World Series? I mean, what happened to these teams that were good and really good and had some great storylines last year? And then we're not even going to talk about the Mets. That's another whole story now.
Well, your best players first aren't playing well, and it starts with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and he hasn't homered, guys. He has not homered at Rogers Center the entire season. He has 7 home runs on the entire year. I looked at him last week when he came to Fenway a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if the WBC played into that. But that's something that you have to start looking at, because Cal Riley, that's a guy who had 60 homers last year, and all of a sudden he has 5-something or 6-something OPS. Like, those are the reasons why I think are in part why these teams have struggled so much is because you have their MVP candidates not playing well. But in the Blue Jays, within the Blue Jays as well, they had injuries early on, and they had injuries to Springer. Obviously, Vlad has been dealing with some stuff. He's coming, but he should be coming back soon. I think he had a back issue or something like that. So definitely underperformance. I don't know if it's hangover or what from the year before, but it's one of the more. I was talking to some of the Blue Jays writers. It's one of the more strangest seasons that they've ever covered. And now they still have Kevin Gausman, but you go out and get Jose Soriano, and you add a little bit more. You add a little bit of more controllable candidate who's not going to be a free agent at the end of this year in Soriano. It seems like they found something, and I'm fascinated to see what they look like down the stretch.
How about this? Cal Raleigh, I think he hurt himself. Do you remember when he wouldn't shake the hand of his teammate?
Yeah.
Randy Arozarena. Think about that. Do you remember that in the WBC?
I do.
And a lot of people were like, I thought that was foul, man. I really did.
It was
That's
foul.
your teammate.
It was foul.
Yeah, man.
It was foul. It was foul. And I did hear, though, Randy Arozarena was, like, really he told him before the game, like, yo, man, don't try to shake my hand because, da-da-da-da. But and Randy did it to just kind of, to poke at him a little bit. But at the same time, it's like, come on, dude. It isn't that deep. Like, let's stop treating the WBC like it's this huge thing. It's
a World Series, right? People are saying it's bigger than the World Series. Come on, man, stop.
It's not. It's really not. I mean, I get it for the other countries.
Yeah, other countries
for Latin
is
American
different.
countries. Yeah. It definitely means something. But in terms of like, we got to stop pumping this stuff up. Like, just let people enjoy what they enjoy. I'm tired of all these pump up these sports that people don't really care about, or these events that a lot of people don't care about. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy. If you enjoy WBC, go to WBC.
Julian, why are you bringing up the WNBA? Can you stick to baseball? I'm sorry.
I almost did. I'm not trying to get canceled, though, Rob. I can't, man.
Hey, I heard him. That W started stuttering, Rob. He was like, he was about to say WNBA.
Just let them enjoy it. If you enjoy the WNBA, just watch it. But don't try to get me to watch it. I don't care about it. It's not exciting to me. I like women's tennis. I like men's tennis.
Julian, you trying to tell me you and Rob were in that sporting cut? Y'all didn't have the WNBA up there on the TV?
No.
Hell no.
Y'all gotta relax. Rob G, tell them they're missing some good hoops, man. Hey, we appreciate it, Julian, man. Julian, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, yeah, go down. All right.
Yeah, I can definitely tell he's hung with you. Yeah, I can definitely tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. You got a little Rob in him.
Nah, he's a great guy.
Great stuff, man. Make sure you give him a follow. By Julian Mack. Go follow him. Some great stuff.
No doubt. Change is coming in the world of college football. We'll get to that next with Fox Sports football analyst Robert Smith, one of my favorite guys, to join us here next. It is the odd couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, filling in for the Dan Patrick Show right here on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay.
Especially if you're dealing with some special creativity with us in the US of A.
Oh.
Rob G, let's go here. Travis Hunter, didn't have the first year, rookie year we maybe had hoped. I mean, he was just as good as it gets, and people had high expectations for him. But that he was going to be a two-way player, the first one in the NFL since Moby Dick was a guppy. Didn't really work out well last year. Rob G, where are they going now?
Well, now they're going to dinner, movie, maybe a show, right, Rob?
Home dinner, maybe a show.
That's right. Now it's tough scene for Travis Hunter. Now he's back. He's healthy again for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if this week's practice schedule means anything, the idea of him being a two-way player is done and over with, because on Monday, he did not take a single rep with the offense.
Wow.
Throughout camp, he has been full-time defense and mixing in sporadically with the offense. And even then, with the offense, he's mixing in sporadically with the third-string wide receivers.
Wow.
So he's not getting many reps at all. All signs point to, at least for now, we'll see maybe years down the road or at the end of the season, two-way Travis is no more. He is now a cornerback first and a wide receiver 7th, 8th, maybe something like that.
You're putting too much sauce on it, Rob G. He's going to get some of those snaps. He's going to play offense. I just think that's not the priority right now. Rob, this is one of the few times me and you agreed on something, meaning how cool would it be? Let this kid go out there. Clearly, he was the best receiver in college, best defensive back in college, won the awards, Heisman, and all that good stuff. So we said, dang it, let's give him a shot, give him a chance. Let's see before we just say, no, you can't. Now, he was able to get out there and catch some balls, got better as the year went on before, of course, he was ultimately injured. He had 28 catches, basically 300 yards. In his last game there, he had 8 catches, 104 yards, and he also had a touchdown throughout the season. So he's starting to show some promises, made some amazing leaping catches. But he played 67% of the team's offensive snaps and 36% of the defensive snaps. So what it makes you think, are they trying to swap those numbers where maybe he plays 30, 40% of offense, 60, 70% of defense? I think you're still going to see him out there, Rob. I think he's still going to get a chance to play both positions. I think he's too talented. He's still too young, and I think that's part of when you drafted him, you knew that. However, I do think when you think long-term for Travis Hunter, ultimately what may keep him out of potentially wearing a yellow jacket or a Hall of Fame type career when we know he has that type of ability is his pursuit of this. And I think this might hold him back where we never got to see the absolute best version of him playing this. And we bring it up with Shohei, right? Shohei is hell-bent on being a pitcher and an offensive talent. And we've seen how great he's been. But we know, as he's been full-time this year, he's been nicked up, he's been banged up, so we've talked about it. You're not getting the absolute best version of him offensively. You're not getting fully the best version of him pitching-wise because he's getting nicked up and he's getting banged up and injured. So I'm wondering if this is going to be the Travis Hunter experience where he'll have 500 yards receiving and a few touchdowns, but you never know how great he could have been a receiver. He'll break up passes and have a good defensive year and get a couple interceptions, but will he ultimately take away from his own full career by trying to chase this? But now, as a fan in entertainment, I'm in. I still want to see it. And I was looking up the numbers, Rob. Deion Sanders, who arguably one of the greatest athletes ever walked the planet Earth, at his best, when he was with the Cowboys, he was getting 50% of the team's total offensive plays. He started 8 games at wide receiver, played hundreds of individuals. They had some snaps and sets specifically for him when they gave him the ball. And obviously we know what he was doing on the defensive side. So if that's the ceiling where, okay, we'll play him more like Deion was with the Cowboys. Ultimately, we know they won a title. We ain't saying that's going to happen down there in Jacksonville. But my point is, I'm in on that. But so like me and you have said, I want to still see it, give him one more shot at giving him a lot of possessions on both sides. And ultimately, you can slow it on down like I think we're about to see with Shohei, where he'll be reliever, maybe a starter here and there, but not starter all the time because ultimately it's taking too much away.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in that they're not really giving him an opportunity to try to make this thing happen. It's
still early, Rob. It's still early. I think
my thing is, if you're ever going to do it, it's now where he's young. Do you know what I mean? Like let it run its course. It might only be for a year or 2 or 3, and then you realize, okay, it's too much or whatever. But here was a guy who came out who was as good and won all the awards on both sides of the ball. I think it's a shame. I think we shouldn't be closed off to that. You know, I guess you could the Angels and the Dodgers could have said, Shohei, no, we're not taking you from Japan unless you pick a side, you know, and you could only do one thing. And they did not do that. They said, okay, let's try to make this thing work.
It's the Dan Patrick Show. We are the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, filling in for Dan and the Danettes on this funky Flashback Friday. This is how we do it on Fridays. DJ Ali Alex setting the tone for the weekend. And by the way, the hottest rookies, biggest superstars, and all-time greats, the only place to collect them all is Panini Trading Cards. And the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show for instant classics, autograph cards, memorabilia cards, rare inserts, and more. Start or continue your collection now at PaniniAmerica.net. Go check them out. We got Robert Smith coming up here in a couple minutes as well. By the way, Rob, I was thinking about this because you keep, we're coast to coast right now. I'm sitting here in L.A., you're in New York, and you're from New York, and you obviously went Midwest for 20 years in Detroit and still got a home out there. I came out west here almost to the date 15 years ago. At the end of it all now, man, where are you at? What do you think? What's the best coast for you?
Oh, no. It's Los Angeles, and I love my home.
You didn't even try New York. You didn't think. You didn't scratch your little chinny chin. Nope. Straight to it?
Straight to it. I just my friends from New York, they think I'm crazy. I'm like, dude, if I had to pick and I could only live one place, I'm picking Los Angeles every day. Rob G and Alex, I love L.A. I do.
I can't lie, man. I went
the
15
lifestyle.
Years, man, so we were in Atlanta last week for the NABJ, and I always thought I was going to live in Atlanta. Like, it was just a foregone conclusion for me when I was like probably, late high school through early 20s, mid-20s. Oh, yeah, I'll live in Atlanta. Ended up not moving here and moving to L.A., and I'm like, oh, this would be cool, but man, it's been 15 years, Rob. I ain't going nowhere.
That's unbelievable. I start my 11th year in December, so I know what you're talking about.
It's just the weather. And, coming from New York like yourself or Detroit when you spent all those years there, me coming from Michigan as well. Going through Christmas, Rob G., you took this for granted. Living here, never having to deal with snow. You don't understand how insane that is from the entire winter.
Bro, I didn't see falling snow until I was over 30.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
And I was so excited.
We used to get snowed in for school, and we had to go, like, snow, and we still have to go. Like, it was like, put your boots on and your coat and walk to school or whatever. There was never, like, a lot of snow days. Now, a little flurries, and they're stopping kids from going to school, so it's pretty amazing. I do want to say this. Robert Smith's about to join us.
Uh-huh.
And early on, Robert Smith and I used to work on First Take together back in those days.
Yep.
And I used to enjoy mixing it up. And I know a lot of people have pushed back on debate television and trying to vilify it like it's no good and people don't want it. I think people are so misguided on the whole idea of having a debate format. I keep hearing people go, I want to go back to the days when Sports Center. No, you don't. Kelvin, how are you going back to the days of Sports Center when you can see on Twitter and IG all the plays and everything before and highlight right as the game is going on, not even after the game. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to wake up in the morning and watch Sports Center and have them show me the highlights that I saw 18 hours ago. Come on, man. Come on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I get that. I think the only sentiment, the extreme of how fabricated the debate shows have gotten over the years. I think that's what it is. When it's just like, I use PTI as an example of, they just, hey, this is my take, this is your, and they go at, and they move on. And I think now it's so fabricated. I'm going to go here and I'm going to completely act like somebody didn't just have 75 points, but I got to still say he sucks. And I think that's where it's gotten like, all right, what are we doing
because
here?
you opened it up to a lot of athletes who have gone off the deep end, more so than even the reporters. And I think that's where you are. And they've allowed any and everybody to have an opinion. And those are the things that have gone unchecked. And that's why people are frustrated. But it ain't a bad thing. And that's what we've all done in barbershops and sports bars and all that other stuff. So I disagree with the idea that the debate format should be abolished or something, or it's a bad thing. As someone who was a part of it all the way going back to cold pizza, so I disagree.
Yeah, I hear you on that. With somebody, speaking of, you went back all those days ago with Robert Smith, former NFL All-Pro running back, Fox Sports football analyst. You can follow him, Robert26 Smith. What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good. I'm hearing Rob I watched you on this rant yesterday, man. It was so funny about Shedeur. The one about Shedeur, and it's funny because I was up in Cleveland a couple weeks ago, and I was at practice, and I saw some really good throws from him. Maybe some of the best throws that I had seen from him. And look, I jump online, and I'm like, hey, it's small sample size, blah blah blah, but these are two really good throws. But I think the points that you were making, though, are so true. Like, people just don't understand. Like, no coach making a damn decision to please the fans. Like, they're worried about their job.
Right.
And Stefanski was, too. And all these people and some of these talking heads, like, I'm surprised, quite frankly, and I'll just say it. Like, even a guy like Louis Riddick, like, I was surprised to hear him come out and say this stuff because he, more than anybody else, knows what it's like inside of, the offices, right? The front office. Everybody's trying to keep their damn job. And if they think a guy's going to give them a chance to win, you better believe they're going to be on the field.
Robert, thank you. And I keep telling people, stop with the conspiracies. Oh, they don't want him to this, and they're trying to keep him in his. I'm like, if a guy can play, they're going to put him out there. Are you kidding? And you know this. You played in the National Football League. All the players on the field know who deserves to play or not, Robert, don't they? They know.
Yeah.
So who, Robert?
The guys definitely know. But what you said was so true. Like, you can't take, and I wasn't trying to do it, but you can't take a couple of clips on Twitter and say, well, this guy definitely deserves a job. The guys that are doing the evaluation, they're with them every day. Like you said, the guys in the locker room, they know who should play.
Who should play to you there, Robert? I mean, who would you start? I don't think they have the most amazing quarterback situation either way, but who would you start? I'm going Shedeur because I want to see if there's any upside at all before I go back to what I know in Watson. That's me. Where are you?
Yeah, well, they're going to start him this weekend, I know. But at the beginning of the season, I can't answer that yet. Like, Deshaun looked really stiff. And look, he hasn't played since 24, right? Like, and I think it looked like he was just even little throws in that game last week. I saw some clips again from practice yesterday that looked much better from both of them, right? Some really good downfield tight window throws. But I can't say automatically that I would go with Shedeur because ultimately it is about winning games. And I know that you want to see what you have for the future, but if you don't think that guy is really capable of winning you games, I don't think you do it automatically.
No doubt. Robert Smith is our guest here on the Dan Patrick Show, the Odd Couple filling in for Dan and the Danettes. Let's get to the NIL and the college sports where we are, because I don't believe there's...
How much time we got, Rob?
I want to hear from you. And 7 $40 million rosters, right? $6 million higher than the first NFL salary cap in 1994. And Robert, it's not amateur college sports anymore. It's professional sports, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's professional sports without rules. That's the crazy part, right? And the rules just get reinvented, it seems like, every other week, right? Now, Sorsby, I know it's a different situation because, the gambling was involved. But, you get a judge in Lubbock, getting some, temporary restraining order or, injunction, whatever the case may be, just changing things like crazy. And then you get the ruling in Colorado over 5 years. And then you get the ruling, which is really surprising, out of Louisiana. And now this only applies, I guess, to these 12 or 16 players. I can't remember if it's 12 or 16.
Right.
But these guys, some of these guys are in camp. And you're saying that they're eligible to go back and play. Now, this is one of those cases, like, to me, everybody hates the NCAA, and they always want to target the NCAA. But this is really interesting, Rob. Like, when I was back at when I was at ESPN and I was interviewing, and I was up at Michigan with Rich Rod. And he pulls out like an NCAA book, and he's like, you know what? I got to be honest. He's like, we're the reason this thing is that thick, right? Like, he's looking at the rule book. Like, the reason is because coaches want to cheat. Everybody wants to blame the NCAA. Nobody ever wanted to blame the coaches and the presidents for, violating the rules and coming up with a bunch of complicated rules that the NCAA had to try to enforce.
Now we have we just have the Wild West, man. We get a bunch of rulings and nobody knows what's next. And it's just, okay, well, I guess we're just going to have to find a way to spend more money. It's crazy, man. I don't know where this thing ends. They have to get some sort of system that holds everybody accountable.
Well, I got to ask you something else about this, but quickly, you did bring up you brought up Michigan, and I took everything I had to be nice to you, Robert, because when I was a kid, I'm born and raised in Ann Arbor, and you used to torture us when you were at Ohio State. So I don't appreciate that.
I was 0-1 against Michigan. I didn't torch anybody in maize and blue.
Did you listen? I don't want to hear it. Okay, when I got to go against you and see you running out there, dang it, I still got memories of that. I want to go here with you. We just talked about this. The idea that you played at Ohio State, then you became a pro. What about these pros signing contracts and then say, "Oh, never mind, let me go back to college now"? What do you make of this? Where they're allowing this new the judge that allowed this for these guys to go back? What do you make of that?
Yeah, that was a rule that I was referring to, or the ruling I was referring to in Louisiana. That's the one, right? You got some of these guys in camp. That even guys that are making plays, like the what's his name, Priebus, the one down with the Bucks. He made a couple sacks in the game. Now he's going to.
Now let me go sack some college quarterbacks.
Yeah, and not only be eligible to come back, but to be in the damn portal. But here's the thing, season's a week and a half away, right? Like and look, I know you can play with the numbers a little bit. You still have the 105-man roster rules, so you can cut some, walk-ons or, some lower-level guys. But do you have the money to sign them? And, do you want to mess with locker room chemistry? There are a lot of issues there, but, depending on which program you are, right? Like if you're a program, it's funny, the unnamed sources inside of the Big 12, I heard this, like, damn right. We need a couple more players. Like, let's just open it wide. Let's make it wide open because they want to add some people. But they got to have these rules. They can't have guys signing contracts because I guess that rule still exists, right? Like,
but Robert, I'll say this though. Here's why I don't have an issue with it. They're making money in college. It's not amateur anymore, so they're making millions of dollars in college, and this. If you're not on an NFL roster or play, to start the season, you haven't made it to the NFL. You're not an NFL player. If you could even look at the headline on the story, and it said NFL training camp, ex-NFL training camp players, because you're not an NFL player until you make the league.
Wait, how does it start with the NFL, but it's not the NFL, Rob? That didn't even make any sense.
You're not.
So I
Robert,
can sack somebody
until you make the team. You're not. You're not an NFL. A lot of guys have a cup of coffee and a sweet roll.
You take the chance. You leave the school. You make the school make all kinds of decisions about. Well, we need to sign this guy because this guy is going to the pros. Now you're like, oh, well, I didn't make it, so I want to go back. Too bad.
Boy, Robert,
you had the chance. If you're leaving early, especially, look, if you get your 4 or 5, you get your 5 years or 4 years of eligibility in your 5 years, you had your chance. Like, how long are those guys supposed to be able to go back?
Wait a minute. We just saw Indiana win a national championship with the average age of 25 or 24 or whatever. I mean, in college, there were 28-year-olds out there, Robert, and everybody celebrated Indiana like this was the old days. Are you kidding? 28?
Oh, that was first of all, I mean, let's talk about that. Indiana winning a national championship.
Right.
In football.
It's crazy, right?
Like that's insanity right there. But it wasn't with a bunch of ineligible players that had turned pro and then come back. To me, that's got to be clearly defined, and that's a no for me. And once a guy turns pro, that's it, man. Yeah, because you got all these high school kids coming up. Where are they supposed to go? Are they supposed to be competing against 28-year-old guys who washed out in the league?
Right, you got players going back to college, Rob Parker. They're older than the teacher, the professors.
But this is but this is the problem. The NCAA didn't want them to have a union to unionize because you were talking about with no rules, Robert. Had the NCAA put in place or took over the idea of paying players some sort of money. They didn't want to do it. So they made it a wild, wild west. There's no collective bargaining, so there are no rules, and that's why we have the mess that we have. Would you agree with that? That you need a collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, there's no question you need a collective bargaining agreement. But here's the thing. I go back to this argument about the NCAA. Like, people want to talk about the NCAA, but they don't want to talk about their own schools and their own presidents and their own coaches. But make no mistake about it, the NCAA is trying to make rules at the behest of all those coaches and those presidents and those athletic directors. They're the ones that want those restrictions, and they know they need those restrictions, just to my point about Rich Rodriguez saying we're the reason that those rule books are so complicated. But you do need some sort of system in place. But now, if they're employees, now it's work comp issue. Like, there are so many issues that this brings about that people haven't even considered when they're actually employees of the university. But the good thing about that, for the universities and for these coaches, is you get some certainty because the contracts are two-way and the players can't just say, well, I'm going to sign here this year and then go somewhere else next year. That's been the real disaster. It's not just NIL, but it's a portal every year and multiple portals.
All right, real quick for us, Robert, we're up against it. I just wanted to ask you, since we had you, the idea of fans voting in the Heisman Trophy for the award, where are you on that?
Terrible.
You in?
That's such a bad idea. It's barely worth discussing. I mean, that's just an awful idea. And
Robert, everything is for sale. Yeah. Everything is a gimmick. It's so bad, man. What they've done to college football, and as a guy who excelled and was a great player in college football, you don't even recognize this game, do you?
I mean, it is so different, man. It's interesting you say that, because when Ohio State won the national championship a couple of years ago, you know, my initial reaction was, I'm always happy when Ohio State wins.
Sure.
But it just felt different, man. It felt completely different. And like, hey, some people will say, whatever, Unc, or, get off
my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, but like, to me, like, back in my day, like, we all made the choice, man. We made the choice to go play at the same school, right? And it was just so different. And people joked about this stuff all the time. Once I got to the league, it was like, oh man, we know you took a pay cut to come into the league. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you this honestly. I know we don't have a lot of time. I got my first car 5 months before I got drafted. It broke down 3 months before I got drafted. No joke. 85 Cutlass Sierra in 1993. Swear. And we used to collect the tickets for the games, because they had free singles with cheese from Wendy's on them, or free singles from Wendy's. So we would collect those tickets. And you know what? I love that part of the struggle. I'm happy for the guys today, but it's unrecognizable.
Yeah, you missed your day, man. Right. You would have been in a G-Wagon. Robert, thank you so much.
Smith, we got to go, but this is what you sounded like on radio today. Here we go.
Hey, you damn kids! Get off my lawn!
All right, I'll just end with go back.
Well, there you have it. All right, appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, Rob. All right, Kelvin.
No doubt, man. Robert Smith. Give him a follow. Robert26 Smith. All right, somebody doesn't believe they got any pressure to win the Super Bowl. We'll tell you who that is. It is the Odd Couple in for Dan Patrick and the Danettes on a Funky Flashback Fridays, Fox Sports Radio.
Josh Allen said on a podcast earlier this week, that he thinks their time is coming real soon. Take a listen.
Been in the playoffs a lot of times in the last, however many years I've been here now, and just continuing to find ways to learn from it. And I think that's it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because we haven't gotten it done. But you knock enough at the door, it's going to open at some point, and that's just what we have to keep doing is keep knocking on that door and giving ourselves chances to be in that situation again.
Yeah, easier said than done. Does Josh Allen know he plays for the Buffalo Bills? Does he know there was a quarterback named Jim Kelly who was there?
Yeah.
Do you know that they went to the Super Bowl 4 straight years and had the best team in the AFC? And guess what? They came away with this. A donut. Zero. Nada. Nothing. They had great players up and down that roster. Are you kidding? Mm-hmm. It's the reason why I want to take Marv Levy out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame as coach.
Going there to crowbar?
I'm just
take
saying.
Take him out? What you mean you could take him out?
But I'm convinced more than ever that they won't get there, that they won't. Josh Allen will be that guy who put up these numbers, won an MVP, and won't get there. I believe that Lamar has a better shot at getting there before Josh Allen. I really do. I saw Josh Allen last year in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that the Buffalo Bills lost was because of Josh Allen. I know he had 3 touchdowns, 349 yards, but guess what? 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. He cost them at the end of the half. He's a risky player. Takes too many chances. He plays street football. And when he makes a play and that breaks down, it looks great, and everybody's all about Josh Allen. But then there are those moments when he doesn't make those plays, and he does what he did against Denver, and it costs his team. I'm convinced he's not going to get there, that the Buffalo Bills window will open and close, and Josh Allen will not be able to get them where they want to. And you can say, oh, they're closed. What? Dude, Baltimore's been close. Fumble at the goal line. Mark Andrews dropped a two-point conversion in Buffalo, right in that game.
He still wake up in cold sweats about that.
You have to. That's where I'm on Josh Allen. He can talk all he wants that he's going to get there. I saw Jim Kelly, who was a hell of a quarterback, not be able to win a Super Bowl. Forget about getting there. Couldn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think you're just howling at the moon right now with Josh Allen. Because when you look at some of the guys, what you said, gamblers and people who would throw the ball and risky, dare I say Brett Favre, that's exactly what he was.
How did he win a Super Bowl?
And he got to 2 Super Bowls.
How did he win a Super Bowl?
What do you mean, how did he win?
What? How did he win the Super Bowl? What 2 Super Bowls? I thought he got to 1.
He's been to 2.
What was the other one?
They lost to the who they lose to? They lost to, I'll tell you in a minute. It was not the Patriots. I'll tell you in a moment. But you're looking at a guy and Brett Favre.
I only remember one. I remember the one that they won. Maybe I'm just it skips my mind because they did. What did he do in that game? I don't remember it.
Well, you keep going to the actual game. First, you got to get there. He lost to the Broncos. That's who the Broncos beat.
What year was that?
98.
Okay.
So remember he went back to back.
I have no idea what he
went back to back. They went 97 and they went 98. They lost by the touchdown. I remember that was the crucial one that when the Broncos scored there in Jim, what's your boy? John Elway. Helicopter joint. But my point is, Brett Favre was known for being a gambler. And he got to 2 Super Bowls back to back. And he won 1.
He won 3 MVPs in a row. Remember that, too.
And Josh Allen, who knows? He's got a couple. He's got 1 already, and he could have had a couple depending on how it goes. My point is, Eli Manning was a turnover machine. We know that. He got to a couple, and he won them. Matthew Stafford, you don't ever want to even give him credit because you covered him. Matthew Stafford is now a Super Bowl champ. And then you talk about who led the league in interceptions. Sam Ronald McDonald, you like to call him. You know what he just did? He won a Super Bowl. My point is, Josh Allen, you look at guys like Peyton Manning. It took him 8 years, Drew Brees, 8 years to get there and to finally win one. So I think Josh Allen's point is all you can do is be really good year in, year out and hope that your chance comes, that this is the year get it done. the best thing you can do is be ready, be prepared, and be good and get in the postseason, because none of us had going into this the Patriots and the daggone Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Shout out to Robert Smith. Just joined us moments ago. It is the Odd Couple, Rob and Kelvin, and for the Dan Patrick Show, Dan and the Danettes, a little time off. Glad to be here on this funky Flashback Friday. Big shout out to you, DJ Ali Alex.
People are waking up and listening to the show like, what? Where's Dan? What's going on?
Well, I one up you. They turn on YouTube. They're like, whoa, oh,
whoa, oh.
What in the is going on here? Hey, big project coming up. Well, ChatGPT has a new agent for larger projects. ChatGPT Work. So give it a go and help turn scattered materials into finished work. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode. It's available on Plus and Pro plans. So go check that out as well. All right, Rob G. Joe Brady, new coach for the Bills. Well, new head coach, I should say. Talking about the idea of what pressure to win a Super Bowl there in Buffalo.
Yeah, what pressure? If you ask him, there is no pressure. Now, Joe Brady caught up with FoxSports.com and asked about, hey, we've been told Super Bowl or bust mandate there in Buffalo. They got rid of Sean McDermott. You must be feeling the heat, right? And he says, no, I've never felt pressure because I'm ready for this. I don't think about the Super Bowl, but no one has higher expectations than myself. I knew when I took this job and I knew what came with it. That doesn't mean I'm talking about it every single day or that I can't handle what comes with it.
Joe Brady, is this on?
It's on.
Hello?
We got you.
Is this on?
It is.
You think you came to Buffalo to make the playoffs? They've been making the playoffs. It wasn't good enough. The heat is on. You got to get it done. You don't have 10 years. They need to get to a Super Bowl. Joe Brady, you'll have a way shorter leash than your predecessor. What, he got 8 years?
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen again. You won't have the quarterback. You won't have the team. You better be thinking about this like you got 3 years max to at least get to a Super Bowl. The Buffalo's been to the Super Bowl. They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. You need to win. I'm sorry. You're not in Buffalo to eat chicken wings. Are you kidding me? You're there to win a Super Bowl. You bet that. Now that's a pressure-packed situation, Kelvin.
I tell you what, you better not ever be the Buffalo Bill head coach. You wouldn't get no coaching done. You'll be in there, Josh.
I'll be eating too many wings. All flats, please. Parmesan garlic.
Yeah, you would be going crazy. All those buffalo wings, I've seen you eat. You are a madman when it came to every time we hang out at the Super Bowl. Look, he knows he's under pressure, right? He's trying to minimize. He's trying to do the whole, every day's pressure, and every day is a day. I get that. I will say this. I think Josh Allen's under more pressure in the sense that, okay, you had McDermott there, and it didn't work out. It worked out in the sense you guys won a bunch of games, but you didn't get the ultimate prize. And now you got Brady, who has helped you. The offense become one of the more potent offense the last couple of years, putting up high points per game, the best version of yourself to the tune of an MVP. And so I look at it as now the pressure really is on Josh. You got a new coaching staff, you a guy who understands the offense, who can get you rolling, and it's on you to get over the hump, right? Because if it comes down to a big play, a big quarter that's needed, a big drive, we're not going to remember Joe Brady. We're going to remember, did Josh Allen get it done? And he's at that part of his career now, to me, Rob, where it's all incumbent upon him to get this thing done and not get his team in a situation like he did against Denver where, man, you cost us points and you cost us ultimately the game in the playoffs. And those are the types of things that can haunt Josh Allen. So I look at him as pressure's on him for sure. Pressure, maybe it's on somebody else. A head coach in college football will tell you what it is. It's the Odd Couple in for Dan Patrick on a funky Flashback Friday.
We are Buffalo.
My guy, your guy, Drew Brees on the Kelvin and Rich Show. What's up, Drew?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing great.
to see you. It's NFL Hall of Famer Drew Brees. That's the official title.
Every time he's introduced, I heard he wants to be that way.
So awesome, dude.
I got an honorary doctorate from Purdue this year, too, so you're going to have to throw a doctor in front of that as well.
Dr.
Yeah.
Drew Brees on the show.
That's right.
That is so great. I love that. We have so many questions for you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you being here. In for Dan Patrick, Covino, and Rich. When it comes to the NFL Hall of Fame, I mean, obviously you're a man that does your prep. You made it this far, but how much prep goes into that speech?
So much. It's one of the hardest things I've had to prepare for, because you just have you have a limited amount of time, and yet you've got this entire, not just career, but life. I mean, you become so reflective over the last, 8 months, ever since they announced that Hall of Fame. And it's like, how can I possibly convey all of my gratitude and appreciation and thank all the people I want to thank in the amount of time that you're given? Really, it's like you're writing a book, and then you have to condense the book down into, they tell you 8 to 10 minutes. I was about twice that.
Yeah.
But you want to do it in a way too that, like, look, you recognize a lot of the people that are in the stands are sitting out in the hot, humid sun for 2.5 hours. So you're trying to entertain them a little bit, with stories and, some laughter. But of course the emotions are going to come out, and you just want to properly convey that to all the people that were such an important part of the journey.
Again, you've done it all, but I got to ask, do you start getting nervous about that? Do you feel the nerves? So much prep, such a big moment. Does it get nerve-wracking for you?
Yeah, definitely. But honestly, I would say, look, that Hall of Fame experience it's all the time leading up to it and the anticipation, but then, you're in Canton for 5 days, and there's all these unbelievable things that you're doing. And a lot of it, I think they intentionally keep a surprise from you so that they get your, authentic reaction and emotion to it. Starting with, there's a toast in the bus gallery on Thursday night, during that week. And I remember walking in that room, and of course it's already, just an epic experience with all the busts lit up, but it's kind of that dim feel. And then all the Hall of Famers are in there. And here's Mean Joe Green and Willie Lanier toasting us all. And then I reach over and I'm clinking glasses with Lawrence Taylor, and I'm like, dude, where am I? Right? Like, I just got transported to this unbelievable place. And then the gold jacket dinner, when you kind of walk through the aisle of guys, and they're welcoming you into the Hall of Fame. And Joe Montana, who was a childhood idol of mine, is putting on my gold jacket. And all that leads up to the enshrinement. And then finally, it's like the party that night. You can just kind of relax and cut loose.
So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Indeed, on a funky Flashback Friday, hour number 3. This is the Dan Patrick Show, no doubt about it. And we are the odd couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, sitting in for Dan and the Danettes. You can catch the odd couple Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports Radio.
Wow.
The show that delivers that's fun and informative and values your opinion.
Yeah.
How's that, Kelvin?
I like that. There you go. Listen, man, we made it through the week. We know what your week was last week, and I'm not going to tell the Dan Patrick audience. They don't need to know about your.
No, what are people saying about you? People were coming up to you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We went to the National Association of Black Journalists Convention.
Yeah.
Kelvin and I did not get thumbs down at all. I mean, I had a couple of sideways thumbs.
Some sideways thumbs. Some sideways. I guess it's all right. No, people. Listen, we had a great time, and but no, definitely it is. There's been a post-conference conversations that have happened, Rob, where people are like, oh man, your boy Rob, dang, what happened to Rob's shoe? His shoe was talking. And then some other people.
My shoe exploded. My Jordans, one of my favorite pair of all black on black Jordans 5s, they just came apart. I don't know if it was the sticky floor at Magic City. I have no idea what it
No,
had.
I'm not going to lie. Seeing this grown man, and you know his advanced age, walk back into the hotel lobby, up the escalator, mind you, with one shoe off.
It was in my hand.
Holding
Roger.
the shoe in his hand.
Walk.
The shoe's flapping open, and we all know where he was, and we know what kind of night it was. It was a sight to behold, Rob. I'm not going to lie. Only you could pull that off and live to tell about it. So I need to know, were they dancing for you, or were you dancing for them?
I was making a couple of moves. That's right. It was that kind of a night, and it was a lot of fun. We do want to say, coming up here on the Dan Patrick Show, we're going to talk with Sean King, former NFL quarterback, and, of course, Fox Sports Radio NFL analyst. So we'll have him coming up. We got a lot to get to in this final hour of the program. I can't believe 2 hours down already.
Yeah, look at you, made it too. You're still here.
I am, and we will not be on the Odd Couple tonight. Normally we'll do a double dip. I would at least. Just can't do it scheduling wise. Yes. So instead, we have fill-ins tonight.
Yeah.
Who's coming in?
Ephraim, is
Martin Weiss and Ephraim Salam.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin Weiss and Ephraim Salam. They'll be in for us 7 to 10 p.m.
And it's going to be a great show. You should definitely listen and watch it on YouTube.
Make sure you tune in. It's still going to be a good listen, even though it's not us.
Show some enthusiasm, Rob.
Come on,
Rob. I'm not ripping the show.
No, listen, it was an improvement on how you did it yesterday. Yesterday was ridiculous how you did it. So you have improved.
Who is it?
Who? I said Ephraim Martin.
It's Martin.
Who? Oh. Ooh. Are you sure, Rob G? Is that real?
They're doing our show.
They're doing our show?
Did I approve that?
Tell them they can't call it the Odd Couple.
No, just tell them it's a couple.
That's right.
You just call it the leftovers.
Just call
a couple of leftovers here on our Fox Sports Radio. I like that, Alex. A couple of leftovers.
Thank
The show.
Ridiculous.
We got to have them make it open for when people fill in for
There
us.
should be.
This is it's the leftovers. Rob and Kelvin aren't here.
Hope you have a microwave because it's okay.
It's okay.
All right. Hey, Rob G, college football season is on the doorstep, about to get started.
Well, before that, we got the YouTubians, man. The Odd Mobs woke up early with us. They want to weigh in.
Are they chiming in?
Of
Okay,
course they are. Jed made a very good point today. Jed J, if you want to weigh in, check us out on YouTube. I'm reading the comments about the show. Says, by watching today, we are assured why Rob was banned from the Dan Patrick Show. Nothing but loud yelling, hating on everything. Yeah.
Am I loud?
It's so funny because all my life I've been told I was loud. I tell all my friends' parents, sleep over. Your voice carries, quiet down. And then all of a sudden I've been doing a show with you, and no one ever says I'm loud. Well, maybe once or twice, but they say you are always loud.
And then Sean in Sacramento, who called in hour 1.
What'd he say?
He has an entire narrative about how this thing's going on in the background. He says, Rob G is telling. The detective says, so we hear something about Robert Parker. And then me saying, it's Robert Lee Parker Jr. first. Where do you want to start? Tax fraud or stripper trafficking? Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
The worst part about it is, Rob G, is I have been witness to some of these crimes, you and I.
That's fact.
You know, Rob G, I'll get back home and I'll say, I swear, Alex, I swear I had a steakhouse receipt. Where's my receipt? Rob has my receipt.
Kelvin, I'm sorry. Did you go out to dinner and you get the receipt?
Did you get your receipt? Yeah.
Could I use that?
I have my receipt, Rob. Why are you asking me about my receipt?
You guys got some nerve talking about tax fraud right on a national radio show. Thank you.
How much was your per diem left over?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, gosh. All right, we got some more. Just a lot of people weighing in. 6 foot, 188, 6'2", 197. Good stuff. And this one,
everybody reminded me how fat I am.
I didn't want to read this one, but Alex said I had to.
Please do.
Okay, here it is. Wait a minute.
It's not about you. Okay. It's not about either one of you. This is why I didn't want to read it. Neelady, I think he says, says, man, Rob G built like a notebook. He got the posture of a French toast stick.
Wow.
What does that even mean?
That's so good.
Well, as somebody who has 3 daughters, and I make French toast sticks all the time, you are very French toast sticky.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is.
I don't know if he wants to sop you up with some syrup. I don't know what he's trying to say. But no, you do. I think it's that he's saying you kind of, sometimes they bend a little bit.
Just a
and
little
maybe your head is bringing you down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
That is messed up. Rob G, you're supposed to be looking good. Your wife signed off on this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're losing weight. You're getting no more jabs, right?
Rob, I ain't going to stop.
He's
Can't
jabbing
stop,
up to
won't
the
stop.
casket drops, Rob.
That's
Come on.
What are you talking about? You're not going to stop. You're not done?
Never.
This is for
Rob,
the rest
I
of your
stay
life?
ready, so I don't got to get ready. You know what I mean?
Rob.
No, this is the rest of
Oh,
your
I have
life?
no idea. All I know is when Barry Bonds was good and then became great, I'm trying to be good and stay great.
Oh, wow.
Hey, real talk, real talk. So there's, me and the girls, we go to the YMCA, my daughters, and I saw a guy I hadn't seen in a while. He works there. And I'm like, man, he's getting thin. All right, maybe whatever. A couple of months go by, I see him again, Alex, borderline disappearing. And I'm like, man.
Like how much had he lost? Like
all jokes
100
aside,
pounds?
no. He wasn't that big. That's the thing about it's like Rob G never really needed the jab. Just going to the gym for 3 months, he'd have been fine. So I'm like, hey, man, dang, you're looking thin. What you been doing? He's like, oh, man, I've been working out hard. And I'm like, okay, great. Then I see him again. Now it's borderline concerning. Like, okay, his face is emaciated. Like, I'm like, what is going on here? I don't see him again, Alex, for a couple months.
Stop.
Dude is like 70 pounds heavier. So what I think happened was, to Rob G's point, he got off, thought he was good. I can do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And put it back on.
And they say for some people, you put on more weight than you had when you started if you don't, monitor it. I saw that guy again, Alex, and I was like, whoa.
I thought you were going to say he was on the Rob Parker diet.
No, he wasn't.
No.
I would say Rob's like, I can relate to that story.
I can't.
Hey, notice I didn't say his name. It might have been Rob Parker. I didn't put a name
That's
to it.
funny.
You know, we ever heard Rob mention his trainer once in the last 4.5 months?
That's true.
Yes. You know what? There's a story behind it, but I didn't want to get into it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
When he was mad at your numbers or something?
No.
He wanted me to work out 30 minutes a day. Can you believe that?
Rob G, can you believe it? What? He charged me.
now you're on to something, Kelvin. Now I got the bill after the first month, and I was like, am I doing this really? Okay.
Well, I'm sure you had to agree to the price.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All right. Anyway, Rob G, college football is around the corner.
Yeah, college football right around the corner. We had Robert Smith in hour 2. Check that out. We had a good conversation with him. A lot of off-the-field storylines going on in college football. And there is another one off the field that's kind of percolating, and it's not in a good way because Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes, they were the new hotness 2023. They had higher ratings for their game against Oregon than the same day Notre Dame, Ohio State. And if you remember, Oregon beat the brakes off of Colorado. People didn't care. They wanted to see Coach Prime, Shador, Travis Hunter. Everybody was locked in. Well, Front Office Sports revealed that since that phenomenal 2023 season, it's been a ratings disaster. 67% drop in television interest in Colorado. And they're projecting with the team they have this season coming off the year they just had, it's going to get even worse for Coach Prime and company.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see the ratings all of a sudden taking a jump back. They're spiking back to what they were, Rob. You know this. Anytime there's something, a novelty, right? There's a new guy, new coach, new thing.
New hotness
for sure. So that absolutely makes sense to me. When you look at what he brought, when you got a guy and Travis Hunter coming all the way to Colorado, obviously his sons, who, by the way, had been on TV, been stars, and not to mention Coach Prime, too, already a star just naturally from his playing days and what he had been post-playing days. So the hype was there. And one of the things he does well is he has been a mentor and been kind of that unk to so many people that people love him in general. So they're going to show up, they're going to support, they're going to be there on the sideline, and it looks cool. Like when USC was thriving with Pete Carroll, and you had Snoop and Will Ferrell and everybody hanging out on the sideline. So I do think an element of the fanfare will go away. You'll still get people because people love him. Certain rappers, certain entertainers, certain former athletes are going to come support their guy, period. But I look at it more like this. To me, this year is going to be big for him because I'm looking at it, a first year, the improvement. They won one game the year before. They win 4. They were 1-11 the season before. Okay, they're 4-8 the next year. The second year with him, they're 9-4. They're 7-2 in the Big 12. And so you got something cooking. You're all right. You got a Heisman Trophy winner as well. Your son played well, and both sons played well, but especially Shedeur. And then last year, which was year 3, Rob, 3-9. And so the question to me becomes, and now he was going through health stuff. He had a porta potty on the sideline because the man was dealing with prostate issues.
So you're giving him a pass because of that?
Well, because if a coach is dealing with all of that,
no, I'm asking you. So
what I'm saying is,
you just saying that's the reason.
No,
that's
not singular the reason.
Well?
I'm saying if I'm the athletic director, I'm saying you just lost a bunch of talent. That happens. And then also you're dealing with major health implications. The man, I think it was prostate cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So my point is, this year is going to be a better test of, are you closer to the 9-win season or are you closer to the 3 last season? I think that's what this season.
But I don't even think there's really what expectations do they have? You think they're going to be closer to the 9-win season? I'm just saying.
You don't. That's what I'm saying. But you don't. I said closer, meaning you don't have to only win 3.
Okay, so say they win 3 games. Say they win 3 games. Should he be fired?
No. They're not firing him.
No, that's not what I asked you about what they're doing. I'm asking you, should he be, if they turn in another 3-win season, should he be fired at Colorado?
No, I think I will give him one more year. And I'll tell you why. Real quick, I'll answer your question why. For me, if I'm looking at it realistically at Colorado, what he has brought, the tickets I've sold, the fanfare, I got a Heisman Trophy winner eternally
None
who
of
loves
that
Colorado.
That, come on, man.
That stuff does mean stuff when it comes to the fanfare of a team. And
no,
if
that only means something when you're not winning and you have to come up with a reason to keep him around.
And I hadn't been winning. That's the point. And so I would give him one more season. And then we'll reassess after that. But as Colorado, I want to know again, that 9-win season, we had some great players we know. One was a high draft pick in Travis Hunter.
They've won one game against a ranked opponent in the time he's been there. So you keep talking about what they've done and the turnaround. They haven't beaten anybody. They won one game against a ranked opponent since Deion's been there.
If I'm 9-4, I can only beat in front of me. And I beat my conference. I was 7-2 in the Big 12 at that time.
I don't buy into it. And the whole notion that people showed up, it was just something to do. Nobody was really into Colorado football. Where's Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. walking around on the sidelines? Where's Lil Wayne with his concerts? All that's dried up because there's nothing there. If you really believe that there was something going on there, you wouldn't just abandon Deion like they have. They were there for themselves because it was a place to be seen at, not because they believed Deion Sanders had turned around the program or he was building something special to be a part of. They all dropped Deion. They all ran the other way. He's not getting the players that you might have thought he would be getting with his high profile, and he's an extraordinary athlete who played Major League Baseball and football at the highest level to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He checks all the boxes. He's a great orator. He's a great motivator. He's very positive. There's a million things I like about Deion, but I'm not going to sit here and act like he's done something at Colorado.
Can I ask you a question, Rob?
To change things, because I don't believe it.
You are a professor here in L.A., USC. You are a man who's gone to 22 colleges and universities. So you understand, as much as they like to sell us on the idea of higher education and it's all about that, you know they're businesses, right? And when you start to look at the fact that they say in publicity advertising value that they estimate because of him they made maybe $3 billion. They talk about what the school has made $90 million in advertising revenue. And then specifically in ticket sales, the first year, $31 million. Last year, $24 million. So my point is, let's not act
going down. It's going down?
Yeah, but I'm saying they're making massive money. Let's not act like that doesn't help in these types of things. I'm agreeing. I'm not saying they're all about the
There's
speed.
a lot of
Alabama,
programs.
Nick
Kelvin,
Saban.
Why that doesn't work is that a lot of these big colleges, they sell out regardless of
Did
who's
you just say
there.
big college and then go to Colorado?
Yeah,
Colorado ain't that. I'll give you Ohio State or Texas.
What I'm saying is they're going to sell out. If you're living in Boulder, there's not much going on. You got 6 home games is all you have. Ain't nothing else going on in Boulder. I hate to break it to you. And you're going to go out on a Saturday afternoon in the fall and go to football games because that's what you're intending.
You don't want to go tip cows with me?
That's all. And all I'm saying is you're giving Deion a big pass, and at some point you got to take a look at the program and see really which way it's going.
I agree with that.
If they win 3 games again, dude, you got to start to look and say, has he really done that, or did he just catch lightning in a bottle for that one year? And Rob G, who was the school that they beat game? Was that
TCU, brother? TCU. How you don't remember that?
Because you don't believe,
that was in
Rob
the national
Parker. You don't believe. That's your problem.
No, I don't
Come
believe
on, baby.
that.
Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Don't be like that, brother. You see what we doing over here.
Yeah, and then we realized after they beat TCU, that was a school that was in the national championship the previous year. We realized all of a sudden that TCU wasn't that good, and so that win didn't feel nearly as good as maybe people thought it would have.
You're just not a believer. Just say it.
I'm not a believer. I'm a believer.
I'm going to show you,
right?
baby.
Yeah,
I'm going to show you.
Hey, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Has Deion Sanders really changed the football program at Colorado? Kelvin is all in. I'm all the way out. We'll continue that conversation next with you. It is the Odd Couple in for Dan Patrick, and we want to hear from you. This is a radio show, not some lame podcast delivered by some ex-players who have no pushback and information to give you. This is a real radio show, and we want to hear from you. 877-99 on Fox, and they say I'm too loud, and it's the morning, and I'm going to take it down just a little bit.
Don't fall for the days, right? That's the problem.
Is this what you,
it was
is
one
this what
person.
You want?
One person said something. Now you calling them the days. One person.
All right. It is the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay.
Unless it's a little too loud for you in the US of A.
We have an MVP race that is heating up in the National League between one Shohei Ohtani, the perennial MVP.
And when the season started and he got off to the good start pitching, it was like a foregone conclusion, right?
That's big facts. Well, now we have a new leader. We talked about they were tied a couple of weeks ago. Now, Pete Crow-Armstrong is the odds-on favorite to win the NL MVP. And that's because of stuff like this that happened last night. Take a listen.
See a few pitches first. Crow-Armstrong, it's a high fly ball, deep right. Going back, Montgomery, he looks up. Cubs walk it off. Pete Crow-Armstrong ends the game the way he started it, with a home run to right. And the Cubs beat the White Sox 7-5 in 10. Crow-Armstrong joins the 30-30 club.
And
hey,
Kelvin,
shout out to him. Go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, he could be 40-40 by the time it's all over. There's plenty of time. And we know this. Ohtani's numbers are good. They're good. Just not great as far as what we're used to seeing from him And Kelvin, once he stopped pitching too, I think that really hurt him and his chances of winning the MVP. Because if he's pitching and hitting, it's almost impossible not to vote for him. Would you agree with me as far as MVP? It would be almost impossible. You take that out, and then you start looking at the numbers. A couple years ago, when he was 50-50, he had 130 RBIs. He now has, 75, around that number. Mm-hmm. And fair or not, you could say, well, that's not fair to hold it against him that he had that great year. People will look and go, he's doing all right. He's having a good year. I don't think they'll look at him the same way. I think he has an uphill battle to win the MVP, to be honest. And the Dodgers aren't playing well.
True. That last part, all of it, I definitely hear what you're saying. Where I will push back is this. I definitely think it's going to be much closer than maybe it typically is with him. But I'd look at when you have sustained greatness and what you're doing is just, again, year after year dominance, a la Aaron Judge, which is why that was pretty much those two every year, barring injuries, because what they're doing is so astronomical, so out of this world. I'll give you an example to me what this could be. Last year, Cal Raleigh done stuff that no other pitcher had ever done. 60 home runs. Catcher, 60 home runs. You and I debated. I'm like, I think Aaron Judge is incredible. You know that, but I thought maybe him setting a record for a catcher, doing stuff we hadn't seen, putting up absurd numbers, 60 home runs, and a guy who had been averaging around, 25 to 30 the last few years. And I thought maybe because of where he pushed that number to that record in that position. And I think we're looking at another thing with PCA where 30 for 30 is 30 and 30 is great, is crazy, and maybe possibly 40-40. I think that's going to be the key, Rob. He probably will get the steals for that, almost as a shoe-in. The home runs will be the tougher part. Can he get 10 in? I think it's like 35, 36 games. We'll have to see. That's going to be a little tougher.
That's a lot of home runs, right?
It's a lot of home runs. Do people start pitching around them because maybe they're trying to win games because it's the end of the season, trying to jockey for position? So the home runs want to be harder. But without that, Rob, I think it'll be even more in favor of Shohei. If PCA doesn't have that 40-40 where you can hang your hat on something, 50-50 for Shohei a couple of seasons ago, something where you can say that. Remember, he had that 40-40 or more. Then I think it's going to be harder for him because at the end of the day, when you look at what Shohei's doing, he's going to end up, he has 29 home runs. He's batting .295, 29 home runs, 78 RBIs to your earlier point.
Right.
He could end up with likely 100 RBI. He had 2 home runs last night. He could have, let's say, ends up with the high 30s, 38 home runs, 100 RBIs. And then all of a sudden, he was 8-2 as a starter. 8-2 with a 1.79 ERA. 95 strikeouts. He gave you 85 innings. So to me, those numbers they were in the Cy Young conversation for a bulk of the season. We knew he wouldn't get there, but I'm just saying in consideration of what he was doing.
Because he wasn't going to have enough innings to really make people feel like he should be.
But I just think he's done so many amazing things that we'll look at that and go, oh, well, he wasn't pitching in the last third of the season. Yeah, but he pitched in 85 innings, 8-2, 1.79 ERA, 95 strikeouts plus almost 40 home runs and 100 RBIs. That is insane. It's otherworldly. So to me, unless PCA,
so you still have
crazy,
him the MVP. You still have Ohtani.
and I think it's going to be the NL version of the AL race last year. Elijah, we might need you to put the pause up on the screen just because you missed a wild one in here, Rob Parker. We can't even go there with you. We won't even say it, Alex. Don't worry about it. But you missed a wild one. Yeah, you missed a wild one.
It's too early?
It's too early.
Okay.
We don't want to be banned from the Dan Patrick Show permanently. Although.
Might be too late
Might be too late dealing with you. Sean King coming up in a little bit.
We'll be down with the King.
We will be down with the King. It's the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington filling in for the Dan Patrick Show. Dan and the Danettes are off, but appreciate us allowing us to be in. Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it is not. Switch to life-changing Wet Extra Large Flushable Dude Wipes because wetter just cleans better. Available at Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes. Best clean, pants down.
All right.
Let's get some calls about Coach Prime down there.
K-Dot.
Come on, 'cause Rob ain't a believer, baby.
I love you, K-Dot.
Yeah.
I love you said, allowing us to fill in for us. I love that.
I said that?
You did. Love us.
Was it 40 and slip or something?
Because we could have said no, but we said yes.
I wasn't going to say it, Rob G. You know what I mean? We could have said, no, baby, we ain't going to be doing that. We love Dan Patrick, but we go, it's the Odd Couple, baby. What we got, Rob?
877
You got to believe, Rob.
On Fox. Okay, thank you, Coach. All right. How about James in Detroit? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, James?
What's up, fellas?
What up, what up?
Hey, Kelvin, man, you sound like a cheerleader for the Sanders family, bro.
Come on, hey, that's the problem, James.
Hey, how much flack did you get Deion for winning 3 games? When he won the 4 games, y'all said, oh, he brought him from 1 game. He turned the season around. Then he went 9. He went back to 3 games. Now you talking about giving him some more time. I mean, I don't get it.
I told you, I want to see. I told you lost players. That happens in college football. And then also, the man was going through cancer.
Okay, he said himself, don't make that as an excuse. By the time the season started, he was coaching, he was square that. So that is either you can
I hear you.
You can't coach.
And he couldn't coach last year. I agree with you on that.
He did coach. What are you talking about? He was on the sideline every game.
And he was on the sideline with a porta potty.
That still wasn't coaching. He was coaching.
And he ain't even there.
You won it all, you wouldn't
and
have
you
said
had
that.
doctor's visit. Look, I'm totally with you. If he comes up,
you wouldn't have said that, though.
No, I would. No. I would have added. I would have said that is remarkable that the man won it all, given that.
Okay, come on. You can't have it both ways.
That's not both ways. I would be doing the exact same thing,
James.
acknowleding
Thanks for holding Kelvin to the fire.
No, listen, you can absolutely fire him, Jay, if you want to next year. I'm not mad at you if you want to do that. I said as Colorado, will want to see it one more time. I'm not mad at that.
Tyron in Tennessee, you're on the Dan Patrick Show. Odd Couple filling in. How are you, Tyron?
What up, man? I thought this was a rerun when I first started. I was like, man, they had a rerun or something. I'm like, oh, this live, all right. What's up, man?
What's up?
Shit, man, I tell you, King, I love you, man, but, man, you like being on the wrong end of all these topics, man. My goodness, man. Man, look at that, dog. Listen. Deion's best win since he's been in Colorado was his first year when he beat TCU in the opener, and then he beat Nebraska. He was those 2 wins. He ain't done nothing since then, man. I get the sickness, and I'm sympathetic towards that, and I'm glad he's doing well. And I like the man as a person, as a motivator, as the greatest cornerback ever. But when it comes to Colorado, if he don't get it done this year, he got to roll it. And now, whether that happens or not remains to be seen, because it seems to me his escape clause to this is he's filling the stands, merchandise sales, business-wise, they booming. But results, he ain't done nothing, man. As a coach, he's a clown show. He's been a clown show for a couple of years, and quite frankly, he needs to go back to NFL Network and get the game day final back on the map. Because, man, as a coach, he just ain't got it, man. He's done nothing the last few years, and I don't think he's going to do nothing either. I don't see how it's going to turn.
How are you going to say he did nothing? You just acknowledged that he won 9 games for an organization for a school that won 1 before they got there. I'm with you. Listen, I'm okay with you.
His first year, yeah, I give you that.
No, his first year was 4 games. His second year was 9. His first year was 4.
But the first year is the one he got the TCU
right, but
win.
I'm saying then you go 7-2 in your conference. So I'm not acting like he's Nick Saban or in his prime or Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Well, maybe he might need to cheat a little bit more. That might help. But my point is, I have no problem.
Harbaugh was able to win. He cheated.
If you were to fire him after next year. I'm not even mad at that. It's not as if he's been this prolific, but I'm saying I've seen a guy that has helped a school that had been terrible prior to that, and I'd want to give him one more year. That's all I'm saying.
Wade in Long Beach, California. You're on the Odd Couple, filling in for Dan Patrick. What's up, Wade?
What's up, Rob? Hey, Rob, you've been on point all morning. I just want to let everybody know Rob's been on point on every single subject this morning.
Thank you.
I just want to say that. He gives crap to everybody. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Thank you. I'm an equal opportunity guy, and I'm just going to call it like I see it, whether people like it or not. I'm sorry. That's it.
Where the color? Was there rumors out here? What's that all about? Rob G, was that saying I don't give crap to what?
We know Rob hates black quarterbacks.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but he picks one every year. It's like,
racist.
Right, I guess it'll be Lamar. It'll be Lamar Jackson this year. Who's gonna be a black quarterback this year, Rob?
I don't know. We'll see. Lamar last year.
I'm not moved by any of these guys.
Not moved by
exactly.
I don't know. I'm telling you what I'm trying to think. Who else out there? Anybody else we missed? Is somebody emerging that we can think of, Rob G?
I'm the only black guy.
Remember, Rob said he was mad that Baker Mayfield wasn't black. He said he would have liked him.
I'm all about Baker. I told you that before. Rob G, when you were dumping on Baker Mayfield, I was the only one. Me and Chris had a go look it up on YouTube. Kelvin,
y'all had a
Rob G. You remember we had a knockdown drag out over Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
I might have left the show. I might have just got up from my chair and left.
Let me see. I'm gonna Google it. Let me see if I can find that. All right, we got Sean King. In a moment, we'll get to him and ask him about this. Which, by the way, Sean King, he's doing it the right way. I'm gonna ask him about this when we get him on the line here in a second, Rob. He's working out. He's trying to get his life together the right way. He ain't just going with the jab out here.
It's too late. It's too late for Sean King.
Wait. Why is it too late for him, but it's not too late for you? You're like 10, 15 years older than him. Sean, you hear that? Sean King joining us now, former NFL quarterback, Fox Sports Radio NFL analyst. I'm snitching, Rob. No, I'm snitching. Don't worry about it. Snitches ain't getting stitches right now. Sean, I was complimenting you, man. You know, I follow you. I said my dog is out here getting back in the gym, getting active, and trying to get, back to it. And Rob said it's too late for him.
Sean, you got 9 kids, a wife. You're busy. I don't know how you're going to do it, Sean. How?
So I'm divorced and I only have 4 kids. And
okay.
So he was half right on everything.
If Phillip Rivers can make a comeback, why can't Sean?
Oh my!
King?
Did you see what Phillip Rivers looked like in that uniform? Ugh.
Hey, but the performance was there. Maybe the body type had evolved a little bit, had matured. I'm gonna call it. Because I saw your high school yearbook picture. You don't look like that either. And you still going strong. So what's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. And I need to clarify something. Unless you're doing something illegal, unless you're a part of an illegal organization, snitching is not a real word.
All right. No, I was real. So then I wasn't snitching. Sean, keep talking for us.
Yeah. Because we got to call him back.
Yeah, we're gonna call him right back. I heard the clicking. I was just getting ready to say the same thing.
Apparently, he's also divorced from his phone service. I'm just saying.
Come on.
What?
You got to keep up to date with all your friends and all that stuff. Well, we know.
I'm divorced?
You are divorced. And you've never been the best. You might have been the original person who threw a divorce party. You might be the original person who threw a celebration and a big-time party. Matter of fact, I know where you were at. The date of divorce cleared and went through officially. You knew where he was at, Alex.
Oh, he was very excited to say he was divorced, too. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he was.
I chose Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
it. You did. Does Tiger Woods know that you chose him, by the way, over her? Does he actually, have you had a chance to tell him that or anything?
I don't know. All right, let's get to Sean King. We got him back.
And first of all, to your production, chirping in the background, there's nothing exciting about a failed marriage, but I also wanted to clarify and have the truth be a part of the conversation. Thank you very much.
That's okay. No.
We're talking about Rob, not you.
We're talking about my marriage, not yours. Come on, man. We would never do that. We're talking about mine. I celebrated my 20th anniversary of my divorce. That's all.
Yeah, Sean, we ain't talking about
you. That's diabolical in every way.
I'm just saying. And that's all good.
So anyway, what I don't want you to do, and what we're not going to start the season off doing, is looking down upon each other's dreams. Life's about ambition, hope, goal setting. I am about to get
back sexy. My new name going to be Shirt Off Shawty, because when I get this weight off, I'm just walking around my shirt off all the time. So encourage me along this journey. Don't be telling me I'm past my prime, I'm too old, Rob.
All right, I feel bad now. I want you to get back in the swing of things. I want you to have that great life. I'm happy for you, Sean. I'm going to root you on.
You. My friend.
So, yes, very nice. I mean, we go way back. Another guy from ESPN, our ESPN days. All these guys I work with, Sean, and we used to have good times.
People forget that we catapulted Skip Bayless's career.
Okay, say more.
They're used to when First Take. Well, First Take used to be cold pizza. It used to be filmed in New York in the New Yorker Hotel. That's how far back me and Rob go. Yep. When they moved cold pizza to Bristol and renamed it First Take, Skip would alternate guests every day of the week. Rob had a day, I had a day, the Two Live Stews had a day. So we go back to the very beginning of Skip. Skip, I want some. I think Skip owes a percentage of what he's going on to make. To be honest, Rob.
Yeah, I ain't mad.
And you know what, Sean? People are always ripping on the whole debate thing. That show, when we did it originally, was one of the best shows. When we used to sit at the table together, right, and debate like you do in a barbershop or at a sports bar with your friends. That's what the show used to be like, and it was great.
Absolutely, and it wasn't about polarizing topics. It was about the truth.
Yeah.
It was a search for the truth in every topic. And just to show you how far ESPN has come, it was taboo to talk fantasy football. It was absolutely taboo to talk anything gambling.
Yep.
I remember they had not come up with Numbers Never Lie, which is a show I think Colin Cowherd, who was still at ESPN, started with Michelle Beadle and Marcellus Wiley, where they would look at tweets.
No, that was Sports Nation. That was Sports
Nation.
You
mixed in two shows,
Yeah, Sports Nation. They hadn't even done Sports Nation yet. I remember working there. It was the most, oh my God, the tightest atmosphere ever. I got called to HR guys because I put a Tampa Bay Rays hat on Sports Center. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm a diehard Rays fan. They happen to be playing the Yankees. God forbid.
Yeah, they used to.
Just venting a little bit on a Friday.
They're not mad at that.
It's all good.
Well, hey, let's search. You said search of the truth. Go ahead, Rob.
Let's talk about the Raiders. Yeah, and what did you see last night from your number one overall pick in Mr. Mendoza?
Oh, he's the goods. He's the goods. You don't find guys his size, his stature, with his athleticism. For a guy that big, he's a really plus athlete. He has a big-time arm. He throws the ball with anticipation. He looks calm when it's chaotic. Yeah, he's going to make mistakes, but he's also him, and I would say Fernando Mendoza and the Raiders are in a perfect situation. Clint Kubiak in year one really gets to instill his culture this year. There's no expectation. Nobody's thinking that they're going to be a fringe playoff team. They just get to go out and develop their young players, evolve their schemes, and they're going to have a bunch of cap space next year and probably a top 5 draft pick. So I think the Raiders are in a great position moving into the future, and Kirk Cousins will be the quarterback as that offense works out a lot of its kinks.
Well, stay there for a minute. Rob and I we talked about this. Do you subscribe to this is number one pick, he won a national championship, put his butt in there? Or are you hey, Kirk Cousins, you take the lumps and the bruises as we figure this out? Because we've seen both things happen for guys who are high picks before.
I'm so glad you asked that question, because here's the little dirty secret nobody talks about. In order to play quarterback at a high level in the National Football League, the guys around you have to play at an above average level. So this is a new system. This is a bunch of new pieces. This is an offense outside of Brock Bowers that does not have a top 100 pass catcher. So as they work out the nuance of all those guys gelling together, not being super talented on the edges, instead of Fernando Mendoza getting beat up, potentially losing his confidence, he gets to look at Kirk Cousins, handle success and failure, learn how to prepare. So mid-year, third, fourth quarter of the year, Mendoza will become the starting quarterback, but it'll be in a much better, more stable situation than week one.
I just, if a guy's talented and can play, he should be playing. The only way you learn how to play quarterback is by playing in games. I just don't buy into that. I think
does confidence matter?
You could sit in Aaron Rodgers.
Does confidence matter?
Peyton Manning had 28 interceptions his first.
Okay, that's like
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I'm just saying.
No. I'm asking a question. Does confidence matter?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean also he can come in. What if he comes in and he can turn it around and they start to win games? Or most guys play. Most guys play.
That's not the expectation. And here's the part you're missing. In college football, even though the NIL is changing college football into minor league sports, the coverage of college football has not gotten to the aggressive level that the professional leagues are covered. Can we agree on that?
Correct.
So there's a mental evolution that has to happen at that position with being able to handle criticism and scrutiny. So watching somebody else take some of it is a great learning tool. In college, if you play a bad game, you're not on every platform for the next 7 days until the next game.
Sean, you're wasting snaps.
Listen, I played the position, and this is something I never thought about before I got into it. You know how hard it is to turn the TV on and see Rob Parker and Skip Bayless saying you suck? I'm serious. Then you turn the channel and Colin Cowherd is saying you suck, and then you turn the channel and Pat McAfee is saying you suck, and then you turn the channel and Stephen A. Smith is bloviating about how terrible you are and how terrible of a draft pick. That is an adjustment that people don't talk about. And when you go through that, man, I don't care who you are. It impacts you.
I can understand that, and that's something that we don't talk about enough in professional people, because they'll know what they'll say, Sean. You're making millions of dollars, so what? That's going to be the immediate reply.
So what? Everybody's not going to be on your team. Everybody's not down with the king like we are. Everybody's not going to like you or think you're good. That doesn't mean that you can't work through it. There were plenty of people who never thought I was good enough or could have been good enough to write for the largest newspaper in the country when I was 22 years old at the Daily News. You know what they did, Sean? They didn't coddle me. They didn't have me not write stories. They sent me out to go do the job. And that's how you learn to get it done. And here we are 40 years later. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. There's no easy path into being a good quarterback in the NFL. There is none.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because sometimes advice can be construed as criticism when really it's just constructive information. All I'm doing is adding to the picture that people analyze when they evaluate young quarterbacks. It's a part that nobody, and a component that nobody includes in the development. If I kill his or her confidence before they get the experience necessary to be good, I can actually set them back instead of propelling them forward. So my point is, when you have a chance to learn, if it's a 5-game stretch, a half a season stretch, a whole season stretch behind a Kirk Cousins, who is the consummate pro when it comes to preparing week to week for a game. We saw it on the reality show. That's advantageous for a young quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, Sean, we got to run here on the Dan Patrick Show, but we do have my divorce song that I played to celebrate 20 years of being divorced.
Shout out to Dan Patrick.
Here we go.
It's going to be hilarious, Rob.
Rob, you trusted a big button of smile? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, Rob, I want to see you do that dance.
Oh, he's dancing right now. He's dancing right now, Sean.
Hey, y'all have a great weekend.
No doubt, Sean.
Man.
I must want you in my mind. It is the Odd Couple, Rob and Kelvin, and for Dan Patrick and the Danettes on a Funky Flashback Friday.
You think they ever played Poison on the Dan Patrick Show in the 40 years it's been on the air?
Probably not. However, Rob is telling y'all, never trust a big button to smile. That girl is Fox Sports Radio.
Rob G, let's start here. The NBA, there was some news. ESPN had a story about what's happening with the Lakers and Steve Ballmer and all that.
The Clippers and Steve Ballmer.
I mean,
but yeah, and Rob, the news is there is no news because Pablo Torre is punching air right now. My man has been doing investigative pieces, winning Peabodys and Pulitzers for a year and a half.
They might take that Pulitzer
They
back.
might have to because apparently all that work was for naught. ESPN has reported today that the NBA has found no evidence showing that Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through the team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent the salary cap. Instead, the NBA is now focused on whether the team's introduction of Kawhi to the sponsors could be some way of salary cap circumvention, but even that's kind of hard to prove. And even then, that's something that's pretty regularly happening across the NBA. However, if we're going to pump the brakes just a little bit, the NBA released a statement about an hour after this article went out, saying, quote, ESPN's article regarding the Clippers investigation for which the NBA declined to cooperate contains numerous and significant inaccuracies. The results in this matter will be made clear.
They didn't say it was false.
Once the investigation is concluded.
No doubt. All right. And Kelvin, I'm just going to start here.
Yeah.
Further proof why Adam Silver is the worst commissioner in pro sports. This is a dog and pony show. No shock that we're not going to have anything. Steve Ballmer's too smart for them. There's no way his name is on anything, you know what I mean, or emails or any of that stuff where you're going to be held accountable for this. So it is no surprise. And that the NBA has once again failed to take action when they needed to. We've seen it in the gambling situations. They've cleared players that later were indicted by the federal government. They've cleared players. And then you say, well, Adam Silver was the one who got Donald Sterling. That was easy. Mm-hmm. They had a tape. Donald Sterling was caught on tape. That was easy. Who was the other kid who got suspended for...
Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
Okay. Yeah. He's not a big star. It was easy to say, you're banished forever. Let there have been some other star being attached to that. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. The NBA is Charmin soft. They're not going to shake the cage of the richest owner in the sport. It ain't going to happen. And the same thing with Kawhi. They're going to be like, watch. You think you're going to throw Kawhi out of the league for a year? 2 years? No. They're already saying they don't even have significant information or evidence against the Clippers. That's why they sent that out, because they know it looks bad. So they go, oh, there's a lot of... They didn't go...
Well, they do. They just choose. It's what you deem to say is useful information. Like, they literally have information. When you look at the payments from Steve Ballmer and the timeline in which they align with payments to Kawhi, like it's almost identical. When you look at the timeline of when Kawhi wanted the money, gets the money, and no. This is the part that cracks me up. You and I both have businesses. You got a barbershop. My wife and I have a clothing line we've had now for 13 years. You've had the barbershop for 20 years. 25 years. Let's use it in more real money. We ain't paying $28 million. But let's say you said, hey, man, here's $20,000 to do some stuff for my barbershop or for my clothing line. And they don't do it. They don't show up. They don't do it. That does not happen in business, except unless you are.
It happened in the NCAA. Remember that?
Putting money
no-show
through.
jobs for the kids. Right.
Yeah, exactly. No-show jobs. Here goes some money, wink, wink. So it's clear as day to me that something fishy was going on, without a doubt, that I believe this happened. But to your point, Adam Silver, once again, missed an opportunity to lay down the law. And why? Because the NBA is having so many issues over the last handful of years, the last thing he wants to do is add to that. And so when you have the richest owner in the sports in America, and you have who just bought an Intuit Dome, a beautiful place out here in Inglewood in Southern California, and you have a guy who said, Steve Ballmer said, I ain't going out without a fight. He said, I will never accept this, and I will take this to arbitration. So you already know, oh, shoot, I'm going to be up for a fight, an uphill battle, if you're Adam Silver, which we know he doesn't have the spine to really stomach and go through with all of that. And lastly, I believe this is much more commonplace practice. I mean, Rob G and I were talking about it. Bill Simmons talked about how there was an advertisement that Jason Tatum did one thing for and got $10 million. It was kind of like, that was a little weird and interesting. And I believe this is happening a lot more. And if you're Steve Ballmer and you say, hey, you're coming for me, All right, well, let's check everybody else's books. It is closing time for the Odd Couple. Rob and Kelvin in for Dan Patrick Show. Dan and the Danettes, appreciate it. Shout out to Sean King. We were just down with the King, and it's always great to have him on. Of course, we do it on Fridays during football season, so you can expect more of that. If you missed any of today's show, you can check out the podcast, not just on the Dan Patrick feed, but also the Odd Couple feed as well. Search the Dan Patrick Show or the Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast, and right after the show, the pod will be posted again. Just search the Dan Patrick Show, or you can search for ours, the Odd Couple, wherever you get your podcast. We'll have a full version, best of version, the whole nine. So good stuff. Hey, Rob, you know, you're because you are our senior in this particular case.
What? Don't hurt me now.
You've been. I think you'll appreciate that. You've been Unc for a while, and Rob G asked a great question when I walked back in the control room over there.
Yeah, the question is, at what age do you become Unc? Because Rob's been Unc for 35 years now, right? So it's nothing. Wow. But for the rest of us, I had to know. So I asked Dub because me and Alex looked it up before I asked him.
I don't agree with what they looked up, Rob, but I'll say my reply to him was I said like mid-30s, because
I was going to say 35.
Yeah, exactly, because at that point, Rob G, let's say you have literal nephews, or you have like you're an assistant coach or a coach somewhere, or you have mentees like Rob and I. You know, you start realizing, oh, this kid's 18, 19, 20. I'm not Big Brother who could have been 25 to him. So the next natural thing is Unc. So I embraced it around then. Unc status.
Well, here's the problem. AI disagrees with all of you.
What is that?
It says anyone 25 or older.
See, that's crazy.
Oh my God,
can be considered Unc, according to Gen Z.
That's like literally an uncle. That's like, oh, your sister or brother had a child and now you're uncle.
But it makes sense, though, because think about it. These kids using the terms are like 12, 13. So somebody 25 is like, you got a house, a mortgage,
I don't listen
family.
To a 12-year-old, though.
I know, but I'm saying
Unc
that's someone
is
using
more like, for instance, Rob, we were just in Atlanta, and a lot of people there could have called him Unc. Like, obviously, he's their mentor, but they could be like, oh, Unc. Like, because that's why Shannon Sharp has become Unc to so many people. Because the point is, you ain't granddaddy or nothing old like that, and you're clearly a little too old to be Big Brother, so you just Unc. Like Unc passing down wisdom, the cool uncle that you hang with at the the kickback, at the cookout.
You know, I had the greatest uncle, Uncle Junior, who's passed. But I'll never forget when I got my 1984 Dodge Daytona.
Oh, God.
I went down. I got approved for the loan. Of course, I didn't have the money for the down payment. So I said to my Uncle Junior, I said, hey, Uncle Junior, I'm getting a new car next week. He said, that's awesome. What kind of car is it? I said, Dodge Daytona, talking car, 1984 model. I was in college. I said, just one thing. I just need the $2,000 down payment. Can I get it? He said, how you get the car if you don't have down payment? I said, I figured I would get the money from you. And you know what? When that day rolled around, he came over to the house, dropped off the $2,000 for the down payment for the car, picked it up. And I want you to know that stuck with me all my life. So all my nieces and nephews, I bought their first cars. And that's because my Uncle Junior helped me get my first new car.
Man, that's a great story. Shout out to Uncle Junior, man. RP doing great stuff. And that man, you know what, man? That those types of things matter because you end up and now your nieces and nephews, you know, life, who knows where life will take them, but that will always stick with them and how they'll return the favor. So, yeah, you love hearing stuff like that, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I didn't grow up with a lot of means, and it was extraordinarily modest, but there was always just enough. I always believed God threw just enough. Like you said, little opportunities like that where somebody looked out a hand, you know, someone offered a hand, offered to help out just enough that I think that's why people like me and you, we feel so compelled to give back and be there for other people. And embrace Unc status, Rob G. You Unc too.
That's right, Rob G. Alex, you're Unc too.
Yeah, you're Unc too. Just because you got a bunch of hair slicked back, Alex.
That's true.
You're Unc.
I can't believe it. The Odd Couple, we got a Friday night off for a change. Man.
Oh!
Man, the streets of New York are not safe.
It's about to be an unction.
It's
an unction.
I don't even know. Do you play our thing?
No,
you can't even play it. Oh, dang.
Okay.
All right, what's the Dan Patrick Show? And if you don't listen,
all right, sorry, Dan, we wrecked your show again. Sorry about that.